Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We have quite a special Throwback Thursday planned for today. I'm here with Steven coming around the bend with the Skeleton Crew. We've been together. If you're watching this later, it's 2020. Corona happened. We're in isolation. And today we are revisiting for Throwback Thursday another classic card game that I have known about for a very long time. It literally is a card game, and it strikes at one of my historical...
Your deepest loves.
Just specific interest, which is wrestling. It's called the Raw Deal CCG, and it actually came out in 2000, which blew my mind. I thought it was mid-2000s, which would make sense why I kind of missed it, because there was a phase in between high school and college. Like you went away a year before me in high school. Mm-hmm. That year I didn't really play games, then took a while in college for that to really start hitting. But actually it was 2000, so it came out before the Lord of the Rings game we played last week, before the Star Wars TCG that we played together growing up. And after a lot of the classics, the Star Wars CCG, the Middle-earth CCG, way after Magic and whatnot. And I'm surprised by looking into it, right, how it's like a very fast-paced game. And for card games in that era, that was not a frequent thing that you saw. So I'm really excited to get this one on the table.
Yeah, so we played a decent bit of Super Show in our lives, Zach and I, and we really dig that game. And so this is kind of an early wrestling game, one that we haven't seen. I've never played it before, so I'm going to get to learn it. Zach's going to be teaching it to me. And then one thing we want to shout out before we get into this, there are a couple of cards that are a little bit more, what would you say?
Oh, I forgot to put the rating in the title.
They're a little scantily clad, a little maybe a curse word here and there in the card title. So if that's something that you would find offensive, if you have kids around and you don't want them exposed to that, it might show up based on the cards that we play. There's like literally 3 cards, I think, that we have processed that are like, it's wrestling. So there's a little bit on edge.
I was going to say it's wrestling, so like the wrestling shows are always TV-14 or PG-13. So there's some word choices, and women, even the men, right, are very risque, so to speak. So
like that boa. Who could deny the old Hulk Hogan boa?
I know.
Come on.
But all that said, yeah, definitely a fair warning. I also want to shout out to Diaval on Twitter. Reached out to me. These are his cards, and he sent these decks with an incredible walkthrough so I could learn how to play with decks arranged in a very specific order.
Cool.
So assuming you're watching this back at some point, huge thanks for making this possible. I'm very excited to get this on the table. As I was looking through and reading the rules, I just got so pumped because for me, just a little bit of backstory. I grew up as a kid in the 90s, and my grandpa particularly was really into wrestling.
Nice. And
so in the 80s is when it started getting really big with like Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant and all those classics, Ric Flair and stuff back then. And the 90s, at least for me, from what I can tell, it was a pretty high point in wrestling because you had the WWF and the WCW. Both doing very well. I was just watching, and I've been showing my wife recently, and she's just like, it's like, I don't understand. It's so fake. And I was like, but like, if you look, I mean, this is a 20,000 person arena full of people that paid to come see wrestling.
Wrestling isn't wrestling.
And it was really big. And then WCW had a lot of financial turmoil, got bought by the WWF. That became the WWE, which is what it is today. But that was in the 2000s, there was a kind of transition. The 80s was like very Hulk focused. 2000s, they had a lot of stuff going on, but then it transitioned. I remember it was big time. The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, that whole began kind of, I think, what I would consider the modern era of wrestling. And it was essentially wrestling when they knew they were going to have arenas packed full of people.
Yeah.
Right? But in the 90s, it still felt like you were getting the 80s, like, small ball, but, like, they were just like, oh, we're successful. This is crazy.
It's kind of like how arena rock started to become a thing. Whenever you started packing arenas full of people listening to music, the music changed, right? So similarly, the wrestling and the style there changed. A lot more over the top, it seems like. A lot more like dramatic, insane stuff was going on.
And I stopped following. I was a fan of the WCW because I was very small when Hulk originally was around, and my older brothers were actually watching it with my grandpa. Then I finally got to start watching it, and Hulk actually moved to the WCW, and it was a big thing.
Yeah, and he
so when
became
he did
a bit of a villain,
he turned heel. He became Hollywood Hogan. So then that's what my grandpa was like wanting to watch, and so I was watching that. And then once WCW went away in the late 90s, I think it was actually like 2000, 2001, it's kind of also when I like stopped watching. I haven't really followed since then.
Yeah.
I followed The Rock and Stone Cold, and then all of WCW, and then nothing else.
I stopped, I think, right before them, because I remember there was a video game, WCW versus NWO.
Yep.
That
For like Nintendo?
Oh my gosh, I wrecked. It was an N64 game, I believe, that Jonathan and I played a ton of. You can make your own wrestlers. And that was like when Sting was around, and I'm trying to think
Lex
of like
Luger, Macho Man Randy
the Giant
Savage.
was on that game, but
The
he was
Giant-
kind of a classic. He was one of the original wrestlers, right? Was that the Giant?
So
or?
there's Andre the Giant, and then there's the Giant.
It was the Giant.
Who's now
Yeah,
Showtime.
it was the Giant. Yeah. Okay, nice. I
And
didn't
then you
miss
had
too
like
much.
Kevin Nash and Steve Hall or Scott Hall.
Yeah.
Were in that. Chris Benoit was in there as well. Chris Jericho was
Bret
in
the
there.
Hitman was really
Yep.
early.
He also flipped to WCW. So WCW was like the up and comer. Fighting the WWF, and then they just collapsed. It was quite funny.
That's incredible.
But anyways, I haven't really followed wrestling. This is a game, it's kind of cool because it is just, if you look at some of these cards, we were looking through yesterday, sorting them just to make sure we had all the cards for the Pops. And some of the titles are like 12 words, and they go like halfway down the card. So it reminds me of the early CCG days. We've been hitting a lot of classic CCGs where they were just willing to print. It was a card. It was like, we can use the whole card, and we can do whatever we want. And very little use of icons, so there's a decent amount of reading. But this is ultimately a way simpler game than anything we've been playing. So I'm excited to dive in and actually start playing.
Let's go ahead and dive in. I saw Cubson, thanks for the congratulations. In case you guys haven't seen, where Zach and I will be hosting the morning and evening show for Origins Online. This is the online version of the Origins game fair that couldn't happen physically because of coronavirus. So we're doing it all a big streaming production, and there's going to be a bunch of different publishers and games shown off and shows and whatnot throughout the day. So come join us on that. That's Origins. That's mid-June. And then also any of our content members, thanks so much for being here for the $20 a month, just keeping us essentially on the air, helping out while our store is closed, and making sure we can keep up with the payroll of all of our staff. And that's been super helpful, and it's one of the reasons we're able to come in here and stream every day, so thank you very much for that. And with that, Zach, I would say it's about time to decide what decks we need to lead off with here. We've got 4 decks that we can play. We've got Hulk Hogan, we've got Batista, which I've never seen Batista before. We've got Chris Jericho, and then The Undertaker.
Pretty classic
like.
spread.
Okay.
Yep. So some old, some new.
Can we start with whatever we want? Is there advanced decks or anything?
No, not really. I'm just going to be walking us through the process for the first game, and then it's going to go pretty quick. Once we have the basics under our feet, I think the games, from what I was seeing, take 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's one of those
Yeah.
style of games. So of course I'm planning on starting with Hulk Hogan. If you have no
Why don't we go
issues
Hogan
with
versus old Chris Jericho?
I like that.
Seems
So
like a classic
This is
matchup.
Hulk Hogan, the Immortal One. I believe we should have that card popping up. And you'll see on your key stat card here, you have a handful of things. You have a...
Batista apparently easy for a beginner, so I'm going to take Batista.
That's right.
And it was Mike Cook, by the way, is who we borrowed these decks from.
Nice.
Goes by Diablo apparently on the internet.
We really appreciate it, Mike. Hulk Hogan, the Immortal Claw, hand size of 9. Super
The Immortal Claw.
The Immortal Claw. The Immortal One. It's just in my brain. I did not even see that or think that. So a couple things. I always like when I'm teaching a game to start out with the objective of the game. And this is something we saw a lot. This is a Star Wars CCG had the same mechanic, which is the objective of the game is actually to run your opponent out of deck.
Okay.
So once the
It's
deck
like
is
Super
gone,
Show, yeah?
then it's over. And so everything we do, when we do damage, is actually going to remove cards. Except for, unlike the Star Wars CCG, we're not going to be like reshuffling our cards over and over again.
Let's zoom in here.
So once the deck is gone, you're basically getting pinned down. You get the 3 count, and you're out.
Right on. Let me change the lights. Go
Go ahead. So the objective of the game is to run our opponent out of cards. The deck is referred to as your arsenal. So those are the tools you're going to have to wrestle.
It's like Netrunner.
Yep. The discard pile is referred to as ringside. And then cards that you actually successfully play will enter the ring, and they will stay in play. And that's the ring is like in play area.
Okay.
So when you can't basically flip any more cards, at the start of the turn you're also going to draw cards. So if you go to draw and you can't, then you just basically get counted out and you lose the game.
When you lose, like you're out of the ring?
So if your opponent makes you run, this is actually a really thematic rule. If your opponent makes you run out of cards in your deck, you lose, and that's being pinned. So they pin you for 3, or you're submitting. Then if you go to draw and you can't, and that would actually make you lose, then that's representative of you being out for a 10 count in the outside of the ring. And your opponent can actually refuse, which is like
Really?
they don't allow you to lose off of that. And so it's basically like they can jump out of the ring and it restarts the timer. So all that happens there is you just keep playing until you actually damage them out.
Wow.
You would never really do that unless you were just crazy for some reason. But I thought it was funny.
I know
'cause
a
it's
lot
like,
of people who would be playing this game that would do that exact thing.
Yeah,
I think
I've-
both of us would probably
absolutely.
do that.
I've seen wrestlers. I mean, it's so classic when you're watching. It's like someone's going to get 10 counted out of the ring, and they just like jump out of the ring so that they can't end the match. It's like they want to finish it the clean way.
That's so cool.
Which I thought is
Of
really funny.
course, that's
so
right.
to start a game, basically what's going to happen is if you look at your card, what's your superstar value?
So we got Batista. We got a hand size of 8, a superstar value of 3.
Okay. So as you can see, Hulk is much bigger of a superstar, basically 2 1/3 times as much. His superstar value is a 7.
Of course.
And so what that means is he's going to be the first player.
Okay.
And so he's going to be the first player to do everything, which is going to be good for what we're doing here. We have a little side, so we have our main deck and we have our side deck.
Yeah, I'm interested in this. So
This is the Backlash deck.
this is like a whole bunch of it's almost like plot cards in Game of Thrones, what it looks like to me.
It really is. So you should be able to divide them. You should have purple background pre-match events. So like one of these here is, I love this.
Yeah.
It says, I am a real American, which is Hulk's theme song. We're singing that all day yesterday in Paint
Yeah.
Day. So the purples are your pre-match cards, and the blue are your mid-match cards. Like I'm going to grab one of these. One's called Took That on the Chin, and that's a pre-match card. It's got a red background. So the purple cards are we're going to resolve that kind of stuff up front. And then the mid-match cards, we're actually going to be able to potentially use those throughout the game. We probably won't in this first game just because to read all those and figure out what's going on is a lot. But if you actually look in your pre-match cards, you'll see some, and this is where we're going to get into potentially. I don't know what this looks like a promo version that are like pre-match events, but it's like SummerSlam. So that's like an event type that is like pay-per-view events. You also have events like I Am a Real American. Which get played. And so basically during this pre-match phase, which is just really hilarious, what's going to happen is we're going to go back and forth starting with me, and we're going to each get to play up to 5 cards is what would normally happen. And my vote's going to be we just pick a couple to play so we see what's going on.
Okay.
But this is where you have like the setup for the match, the promos that get recorded, the drama, the rivalry building. You have the like manager style cards get played and just all kinds of wacky stuff like that. But these essentially have effects that apply to the way you play and whatnot. And so, like as an example, I'm just going to read.
Important to note too, anybody who, checking out the cards popping on stream. So all the card images are generally from the virtual version of the game, which is still going. So there's still people making this happen and playing this game, but they use different art for the cards, but it's the same effects. So we're playing with like the classic art on the card. So what you see on the table is not quite going to match what you see on your screen, but it's the same card in spirit.
So actually, what I'm going to vote on we do, because like understanding any of these cards is going to be difficult until you know how to play.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say all the pre stuff we just set aside,
Okay.
all the backlash,
Let's do it.
and we'll come back and do that.
We'll come
in a
back, we'll
different
figure
game.
it out.
So then we would normally do that, and I'll explain how we do that after we actually play. And then what we're going to do after that, after all that would resolve, we're going to draw our starting hands. You'll see your hand size printed on your card. So Hulk says 9.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do some real printing here.
Yep. And then after we draw our hands, the first player is going to take the first turn. You draw a card at the start of every turn, including the first player's first turn. There's not a mulligan. That's just not even a thing that existed. At this
No, of
point.
course not, because sometimes you just have a bad hand.
And then I'm going
It's
to
wrestling.
Leon asking, "Oh wow, I want this game. Is it still going?" So there's actually a group of people. I think it's
it
a
is,
Canadian
yeah.
group who've been making virtual sets every year since. They have a world championship all the way through 2019 so far. So there's apparently a very healthy community around this game.
Also, let me tell you, of all the people that I've ever met in my life who are really into wrestling, all of them are Canadians, and then Zach. So what does that say? Any Canadians out there? Can you tell us? Can you tell me why wrestling seems to be a national pastime for the great country of Canada? You guys are always really into it, at least from my experience.
Mike's saying FYI, Batista's will be a little tough without pre-match. He relies on it to set up his heat. We'll learn what that is in a minute.
Okay.
Mike, if you have recommendations on pre-match cards for Hulk and Batista to start with, we can grab those and we'll walk through those after I explain the rest of the rules.
Cool.
I just want to get you through a turn so you can see what's going on.
Yeah, so give me the general flow.
So on your turn, you'll notice in your hand there's going to be 3 different colors of cards. I'll just show you because it won't matter.
Blue, yellow, red.
And there's some that have both, which I'll explain in a second. So essentially, on your turn, you can play maneuver cards, which are yellow. So that's how you're actually going to be,
Like
this is
suplex, a good example
this
here.
This is the bash suplex, yep. And then you can also play what are actions, which are blue. And so they require specific things to get played. Reds are actually reactive. They're, what are they called here?
Reversals?
Reversals? Yeah, they probably say it there.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can actually only play those on your opponent's turn. Now, there's a cool mechanic in this game, which is if you look at the top right of like the bash suplex, it's got a fortitude of 3. So to play that card, you have to have a fortitude of at least 3. It's a threshold that's happening. And your fortitude is actually determined by the amount of damage you've done to your opponent, which you'll see on the bottom right of this card is 7.
Mm-hmm.
So like, as an example, the shoot Russian leg sweep has a fortitude of 0. So I don't have to have any cards in play to be able to play that. Assuming it's successful, it would actually hit you for 6 damage, and then it would interplay and stay in play.
Yeah.
So then throughout the game, what I'm going to be doing is, now that I have 6, I can actually now potentially play the bash suplex.
Because it's a 3 fortitude.
Now I would have 13. So like I could potentially play, this is an action card that requires an 8 damage in play. And so we're basically going to keep playing stuff. And what you're trying to do essentially, even like there are reversals here, like this reversal.
So this is very similar to Super Show, right? And everyone's trying to capture the magic of wrestling, which is basically it's a game of momentum, right?
Yep.
The momentum is building and building and building, and then either it switches on a dime with a reversal or something, or it's the finishing move and you're out of there.
Yep.
Right?
So like the Hollywood leg drop, which is Hulk's signature finishing move. I think it does like 30 or 40 damage. So it's just basically, it's supposed to be, by the time you get to it, I think you have to have done like 30 damage to play it.
Wow.
So it's literally, if you play this card and it's not reversed, it's just game over.
And then does the damage, is that a win condition as well? Does that discard cards or anything like that?
Yep.
Yeah.
So like as an example, the card I had, the shoot Russian leg sweep. In fact, this is literally just going to be the first thing I'm going to do. Right?
Okay. How many cards are there?
You should have a starting hand size over
Yep.
here.
8. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So the shoot Russian leg sweep, and I'll kind of walk you through this because, again, it's so simple, it's hilarious, and it's fun. Mike, let me see if there's did he end up answering my question earlier?
I think so. I think I saw something come through, which might be helpful.
Mike, if you can hit me with those the backlash cards again for them, that would be great.
He said it should be okay.
Okay, cool.
FYI, Batista will be a little tough without pre-match, but it should be okay. So that's fine. Let's go.
All right,
Show me what it is.
Parker asking, what is Super Show? It's a wrestling game that's not based on the like WWE IP, but it's like just they make up all the characters and stuff. Small company, they do Kickstarters for like phases of products and stuff.
It's a great game.
It's fun. Okay, so shoot Russian leg sweep. It's a grapple. So if you have a red reversal, they can counter a grapple. You could potentially counter this. But assuming this actually successfully got played, it's 0 fortitude, so I can actually play it. It would do 6 damage, and it says when successfully played, overturn 2 cards. So a few things that are going to happen there, and I'm going to look up overturn to make sure I'm doing that right.
Overturn.
Yeah, okay. So 6 damage would resolve, and what would happen is you would flip cards from the top of your deck. Now here's something that's really interesting. Reversals can actually trigger from the top of your deck.
Weird,
So
okay.
if you flip a grapple reversal on like damage card number 3, and you can play it, so if you have the fortitude to match, you can actually trigger it.
I like that a lot.
But any reversals that trigger from your deck still go to your discard pile. So you don't get to play them to your play area.
Right. So okay, there's a little woo, maybe something could happen.
So if I
here.
hit you for 6 with this Russian leg sweep, right, you would start flipping cards, and I'm going to pull my chat back up. And Mike, on the overturn rule, I'm curious.
Let's put decks down here. What do you think? We'll keep
So
the
you can
action
see
going
it.
in this direction, yeah.
Is this
And then I'm going to flip cards up over the top of the deck.
go on? Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, let's say I play this Russian leg sweep.
Yeah.
So it would do 6 damage, assuming you don't have a reversal.
Okay, let's just say I don't, because I
Also,
want to see what happens.
If you successfully reverse a card, my turn immediately ends and it's your turn.
Very nice.
That's how the tempo switches back and forth.
And injure. 7 damage or less. Okay.
So overturn is also from top of deck. You just do it first before the damage is being applied. So
Okay.
that means that it can't be countered basically from the top of the deck. Those 2.
Okay, so 2 cards on overturn.
Yep.
All right, done. And
No
then I
reversals.
discard 6.
And then you flip from the top for 6. And if you see a red card, you'll just pause and see if you can counter a.
Special. Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn. Then I can draw a card.
Okay.
And when this card reverses when overturned,
What's the
remove it
card?
from the game. It's called a Revolution of the Mind.
Oh, I overturn 2. So the first 2 are from me.
Okay.
So I flip, and I can't obviously reverse my own card.
Unless you're a crazy man.
Yep. So then that triggers.
All right, 4. It's reverse. Your turn ends and I draw a card.
Okay.
Does that happen immediately?
That happens immediately. So you draw a card. It resolves. It was from the top of your deck, so it's still going to get discarded. But now I have this card in play, so now I have a Fortitude of 6.
And do I keep flipping to satisfy
Nope.
the
Once
6?
you reverse, it stops.
Okay,
Stops
all
the
right.
chain.
Over. Game over.
Also, real quick, now that you kind of understand those basics, the Immortal 1 Hulk Hogan has a Legend Superstar ability. When your opponent plays a reversal card, I can draw a card. When I play a reversal card, I have to discard a card.
Oh, okay.
You didn't play it. It was from the top of your deck.
So Hulk's all about the drama, the reversals and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we also have, let's not forget, Revolution of the Mind. When it's overturned, when it reverses from that impact, then it's removed from the game. So basically, damage is considered overturning. Yeah? So it's going to head out of the game. Woo! You're gone. Don't even see it. Okay, so basically, you kind of do 2 damage to yourself.
I literally had a Revolution of the Mind overturned from that ability, so this actually gets removed.
Are you sure? Even though it says when this card reverses when overturned, that card didn't reverse when it was overturned, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You reversed.
Yeah, I was the reverse man.
All right. And what's your ability on Batista?
Okay, let's find out. Once during each of your turns, you may discard a card and then search your arsenal for 1 card with the word Spinebuster or Spinebuster. 1 with a space, 1 without. In the title, reveal it to your opponent, put it into your hand, and shuffle your arsenal. Your cards with the word Spinebuster in the title are -10 Fortitude, so he's a spine-busted man.
So once a turn, you can go get a spine-busting card, and it's -10 Fortitude whenever you decide to
And
play.
your opponent's reversal cards deal no damage. Keep that in mind. No damage from your reversal cards.
Go saying the reversal stays in ringside. So when he flips a reversal from top of the deck, it actually comes into play. Is that correct? I thought it was explicitly the opposite. Anyways, go ahead. We'll figure that out.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get Batista and Hulk firing it up here. What do you think?
That's right. He doesn't even have his bow on yet. I'm excited for match 2. So I think layering the stuff going on here is going to make a lot of sense.
All right, I'm not going to worry anything about the Spinebuster stuff. Let's just start playing cards here.
Mike says it stays ringside.
Okay. So is overturn different than taking damage in that case? I would guess. But we'll find out what that means later on.
So a Revolution of the Mind says, when this card reverses when overturned, remove this from the game. So
it did reverse. Is overturn a special mechanic in the game that's different than flipping for damage? That's really what we need to know. Okay, yeah, damage causes overturn, so that's all right. Ringside equals discard pile. Well, maybe that's important. Yeah, so yours stays in the discard, mine's removed from the game.
So
like
we did it
had
right.
done.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And so ringside, literally, do you need to know these cards?
Ring area is your play. So you don't need to know these.
Ringside is your discard.
This is important. So the way I see people stacking them is like this, so you can always see that stat number, because that's all that really matters, to calculate your fortitude.
Okay. All right, let's see. Okay. So how about some of this? I can see that he has a lot of spine busters. Okay.
Yep. All right, we did it right.
All right, let's start with a little snap neck breaker. It's a grapple. It's a heat card. It's 0 fortitude. It has 4 damage, straight up, normal. You sweep my leg, I hit you with the neck breaker.
All right, I'm going to play the Return Bash for Scotty's Worm. Reverse any non-unique card that does not have the word Bash, Blindside, Dynamic, Precision, or Shoot in the title. And end opponent's turn. Search my arsenal for a maneuver with Bash in the title, reveal it to him, put it in my hand, and shuffle my arsenal. So I'm going to play this reversal, and I think it reverses your thing.
Yeah,
so
I can't reverse a reversal, I assume.
If I reverse that, that goes to your ringside, and it doesn't enter play.
Oh, okay.
You have to land a punch to basically increase your fortitude.
And so whenever you reverse from damage, you resolve it, but it still lands, basically, like when I flip for damage and hit that reversal.
So if I'm reversing from hand, I get to put it into play.
Okay.
Because some of these will cost fortitude, and some of them will actually do something special.
I got you.
So then I got to search my deck for something with the word Bash in it. A maneuver with the word Bash. I mean, it worked before. Let's get it again. I'm going to get the same card.
And you get a discard when Hulk reverses something, right?
When your opponent plays, when Hulk plays a reversal card, I discard a card. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so let me discard a card. I have no idea.
Yeah, who knows? Just make sure I have a 0 Fortitude card that can turn into a... Okay.
All right, let's get that. Put this here. Okay, so I reversed, so your turn ends.
Okay,
You with it?
Mm-hmm.
And at the start of your turn, you draw a card. Did you draw a card?
I did not.
All right, let's try this. I'm going to do a bash suplex. It's a grapple. Cannot be packed, so it can't be put in the deck by female superstars. It's 3 Fortitude. I've landed a 6, so I can play it. And if successful, it would do 7 damage. Also, you'll see on this card, actually, this is a good example. Bash suplex has that little multi-star.
Mm-hmm.
So multi means it says grapple, grapple.
Mm-hmm.
So to actually reverse this, you would have to have 2 grapples. Interestingly, like you could play 1 reversal from hand, and then as you're flipping, if a second one flips, that's what would stop it.
Huh.
And then you'll see the star here. This is about as complex as it gets. The star here is stun. So if you actually reverse this thing, I get to draw a number of cards equal to the star.
Okay.
Because
so
it was
it's hard to
reversed.
reverse,
Yep.
basically. And it does look pretty hard to reverse. Okay. No reversal. Not reversed.
Okay. So
7?
You're going to take 7. So first, it
says reverse any card that cannot be reversed. That card doesn't say it cannot
right.
be reversed, right? 2, reversal. As a reversal, when played from your hand, reverse any grapple or submission and end your opponent's turn. It's not played from my hand, so I don't think it counts. 3, heat reversal. Can only be played from your ringside pile, which is your discard, right?
Yep.
When played from your discard pile, reverse any non-unique maneuver of 10 damage or less and end your opponent's turn. And I don't think that was going to count for this particular thing either. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
All right. And so I get to keep going.
Oh,
if I
like
can
that,
keep
yeah.
going.
So I'm just going to keep this up here. So I can play this from my discard pile, but I don't have the Fortitude right now.
Yeah, and also when you have 5 cards in your discard pile that have heat in them, then you can actually play one of them from your ring set.
Okay. I've got nothing but heat cards in here. So this is a heat deck. Well, look at us go. And action cards are just like any other card, right? You just play it and roll?
Yep, you play it on your turn.
Okay, all right.
Mike says you probably want to look at heat now.
When you begin your turn with this card. So heat is just playing out of your discard.
Yeah. Okay, so if you have at least 6 heat cards in your ringside pile, you can play 1 heat card from your ringside pile per turn. Note that some heat cards included in the decks count as 2 heat cards in the discard pile, while they say in the text of this card also.
Oof, okay.
And then also, when you're shuffling cards from your ringside pile back into your arsenal, your deck, the first thing you have to do is remove all heat cards in your ringside pile from the game, unless they say otherwise. So if you have anything that shuffles back in from discard pile, which obviously cards would do based on the way this game works, heat cards actually get removed from the game.
Okay, all of them.
So it's kind of a penalty for doing that.
Okay. And I've got to have 6 or more. I can plug a card in with heat.
Yep. All right, so I hit that. I'm going to play a card that I love the title of called Say Your Prayers and Eat Your Vitamins. It's 8 Fortitude. It's an action. It says if it's successful, your opponent randomly discards 3 cards from his hand and 3 cards from his backlash deck, which won't matter. That would be your side deck. I am a...
Ooh, okay, so Fortitude, yeah, Fortitude board. So anything Fortitude 0 is what I can play here.
Yep.
I am a real American. I don't have anything there. Let me make sure I don't have anything here. And I have to be able to reverse an action.
Yep.
Reversal. Grapple or submission. Nope, can't reverse. Nope, can't reverse. Nope. Can't do it. Can't reverse the thing. Over to you.
Okay, so I'll discard 3 random cards from your hand, basically.
And what's a maneuver? A maneuver is basically anything?
It's the yellow cards.
Okay, yellow. Good luck.
We're just going to grab those 3.
Aye.
And then I'll pass. I don't have anything else that I can play.
Nothing else to play?
Nope.
The heck? So you can play 13 Fortitude cards now because you've landed 13 damage.
Yep.
Is that how this works?
That is correct.
All right, start on my turn. I'll draw. Well, I feel like I should play a heat card, right?
Also, remember, you can go on your turn and get a, whatchamanot?
Yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
Well, if you had, like, any 0 Fortitude spine breakers.
Well, I've got all this heat stuff in my discard pile that I can play, right? Here's a Spine Buster. There's a Neck Breaker. Ooh, yeah. How about this? So I can just play this heat card as long as there's 6 in my discard pile?
Once a turn.
All right, how about a Sucker Punch?
What kind of maneuver is it?
It's a Heat Strike. When it's played, I randomly discard cards from your Backlash deck until you discard a mid-match card, which won't matter for us because the Backlash decks are not important.
All right, you get it.
Get Sucker Punch.
So I get 8?
Yeah, 8 damage.
All right, so 1, 2, it's a reversal. Reverse any card that allows your opponent to look at your hand. Nope. 3, Mi amo Armando. Can only be played when you have a maneuver with the word bash, blindside, dynamic, precision, or shoot in the title.
Bash,
in your ring
suplex.
area. Yep. When played from hand, whatever. So it's a reversal special.
What's it reverse?
It doesn't say.
Maybe it's everything. Arnaldo's coming out.
What does it reverse?
What more can be happening?
I don't know. That was number what? 1, 2, 3.
Keep plowing through it. Reversal special. When played from your hand, reverse any non-unique. Probably it just means it can't reverse anything when it's not played from your hand.
Okay.
Reverse any non-unique card, yeah.
3, 4. Reversal. When overturned, reverse any high-risk maneuver. Nope.
Not high risk. That'd
5.
be hilarious, though.
Man, a lot of reversals on the top. Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn. I can draw a card.
There you go. So it still lands,
It's just
but
the
it
end
stops
of your turn.
now.
Yep,
Yeah. Okay.
and that's kind of how you build your resource pool. All right, so start of my turn, I'll draw a card. All right, first thing I'm going to do is do a bash headlock. 2 Fortitude, I easily have it. It would do 6 damage. It says can't be packed by female superstars. When successfully played, your opponent discards a card.
All right, so it's 2
a
Fortitude.
Submission.
Submission. So I'd have to have a double submission reversal there, if I understand that correctly.
And this, because it's that one that gets removed.
Yeah.
Revolution of
that
the Mind.
makes sense. Submission reversal, huh?
I am a real American.
Is that a non-unique maneuver? It is a non-unique maneuver, is it not?
It is a non-unique maneuver. So it would say unique here.
Mm-hmm.
It says multi, so it's a double submission.
I wonder if this would matter.
We can find out.
So let's look at Headstrong. Can only be played from your ringside. It's 42-3, which I've got. When played from your ringside pile, reverse any non-unique maneuver of 10 damage or less and end your opponent's turn. Unless you are Al Snow, remove all action cards in your ring area and ringside pile from the game.
Okay.
So I would have to reverse or get all my action cards out of here.
Yeah. Stuart says, play Headstrong from your ringside pile.
I did it.
You definitely can.
All my afterburns are
So you
gone.
play it,
Yep.
and then just be mindful of how many heat cards are left, because you're obviously putting heat cards into play.
Yeah, they're like all heat cards.
But you'll see, what's the name of this? Headstrong? So
Headstrong.
It does 2 damage.
Yeah.
So I take 2.
Yeah, okay, so now I'm down to 5 heat cards. All right, I see.
And then you draw a card and it's your turn.
Yeah.
I'm
Headstrong. Get sucker punched. Get headstronged.
Oh, wait, it's a double submission. So you'd have to reverse it twice.
Even when it just says reverse any non-unique?
I don't know. Especially if it says reverse it and then into the turn. Go ahead. Well, it's not a big
All
deal.
right, let's use the ability here. I'm going to discard a card. Let's discard a shoulder thrust.
Leon, you win when your opponent runs out of deck. Yeah, Mike says, don't forget you can discard a heat card to go get the Spine Buster.
Yeah,
Which is what you
just did that.
What's the card you just discarded called? Shoulder Thrust?
Yeah.
Nice. I see what you're doing. Bringing the heat.
Yeah, I just got to 10. Got to 10 fortitude, so now it's time to roll. Have to be reversed. So you always have to reverse multis twice, basically. Okay,
We'll do that next time.
we'll do it next time.
This is the learning game.
All right, well, I went and got this, and you know I'm going to play it. 10 fortitude, I've done 10 damage. It's a spine buster, it's a grapple. As a maneuver, it's 4 fortitude, and your opponent discards 1 card. As a reversal, it can be played from your hand and reverse things. 6 damage.
And what kind of move is it?
It is a grapple.
All right, I'm going to reverse it. Original WWE icon, 14 fortitude required. Reverse any action card and end your opponent's turn. Put 1 card from my ringside pile into my hand or search my arsenal for a card, put it into my hand and shuffle.
This is not an action card.
Oh. It needs to be a maneuver. Let's see.
Maneuver or grapple?
Is he unique? Nope.
Should be. He's a spine-busting man.
I'm going to try to play the Return Bash for Scotty's Worm. Reverse any non-unique card that does not have the word Bash, Blindside, Dynamic Precision, or Shoot in the title at the end of your opponent's turn. So it doesn't have any of those, right?
It does not have any of those, yeah.
All right.
You did it.
Consider yourself reversed. I have to discard a card, though, and then I got to go search for a Bash card out of my deck. Let's get rid of one of these.
Yeah, discard 1. Take it. 1, 2,
Let's do this
3,
one.
4, 5,
It was on the bottom of my deck. It's Bash Slam. I have to show it to you. 42, 12, 18 damage.
Woo!
With 2 stuns. So if you stop it, then I get to draw 2.
That's a big one.
I'm trying to work up to my leg drop. All right. So now it's my turn. I draw a card. First thing I'm going to do, the Bash Slam requires 12 fortitude, which I have, and it would do 18 damage if it lands.
Bash, slam, grapple.
Just a simple
All
grapple.
right. Can only be played from ringside. I see. So you discard your heat cards, you'll get your spine busters, etc. Okay. A grapple. A grapple. And it's nothing fancy, man. I got nothing.
All right, 18, but all you need is 1 reversal grapple to flip.
Let me make sure I... nope, can't do that.
Bill Vick saying stun only activates if your opponent reverses while overturning from damage.
Okay.
And
I
then
get it.
Something about a maneuver. Is this the maneuver I stopped? So it should be in the discard pile probably.
Spine buster, yeah. Did you stop that?
Yeah. It's not. Is it removed?
No. Okay. Nothing here that can be played out of the discard pile. So 18 cards coming up.
All right. Let's see if you get a grapple reversal from the top rope.
From the top row. 1,
Two,
2,
three.
3. It's a strike.
4.
4. Special. Can only be played from ringside.
This is headstrong.
So that wouldn't count, right?
This is ringside.
Well,
Oh, you couldn't play it.
I'm
You're
not
just
playing
flipping.
it, though.
Yeah.
I'm just flipping it, yeah?
All right. Number 5. Number 6. Number 7.
Strike.
Number 8.
Revolution of the Mind. Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver in your opponent's turn. Draw a card. And when it works from the overturning, remove it from the game.
You do it.
All right. And I draw a
Revolution
card.
of the Mind.
Whee! All right. Start of my turn. Draw a card. I'll bet there's some people who really know what they're doing.
Yep.
Ooh. Okay. All right. All right. I need to get some things here that can't that can't be wrecked. How about a shoulder thrust? When successfully played from my, I can put 1 heat card from my ringside pile into my hand. 2 fortitude, 5. Oh, Zach, you draw 2 for the stun because it got reversed on the overturn.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I wanted. All right, I just need to not get knocked out. It's a strike?
It's a strike.
What's 5? Oh, 5 damage. I get it. All right,
One stun if it gets reversed from the overturn.
I'm going to play Overshot Your Mark. Reverse any strike maneuver of 5 damage or greater, any high risk maneuver, or any maneuver played after the card titled Irish Whip, and end your opponent's turn. Number is equal to the reverse maneuver's damage. Read as 0 in your ring area.
Okay, so 5
5 back
5
at
damage
you,
back at me.
but then it doesn't provide me any fortitude, is basically how that last part.
Right on. 1, 2, 3, and I can't reverse or reverse,
Right.
I don't imagine. 4, 5.
All right. Mine.
Yeah.
I hope this pans out.
There's a lot of discard pile manipulation in this one. Batista doesn't take damage from reversals. Oh, that's right. Your opponent's reversal cards deal no damage.
Take 5 back.
Whew. Yeah, animal.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to try to give you Hollywood's Big Boot. This is great. It's 5 fortitude. It would do 10 damage. When successfully played, I can put 1 backlash deck card from my ringside pile, which would be here, into my backlash deck over here. So basically, if I use a backlash card, it would come over here and I can put it back. But it's just a potential 10 damage coming at you from a strike.
Ah, this makes sense.
This is hilarious.
All right, let's try to reverse that with quick reflexes. It says reverse any strike maneuver of 7 damage or less. However, when your superstar value is 4 or greater, which it is, it's a 7, and it's greater than my superstar value, which it is, 7 is greater than 3, it can be 10 damage or less. Draw 1 card.
Reversing my big boot.
That's right.
I went for the boot and you just pushed me out of the way.
I'm just a nobody. I don't know who Batista is. How about some of this? Have a spinning kick. 0 fortitude. Strike. 4 damage.
You got it. 4.
4.
1, 2,
Oh, I didn't draw a card.
3. I'm going to start really announcing it. 4.
Uh-oh.
It's
That's
my
it.
4th card, though. The coach says, today's the day. If overturned when applying damage, you may remove this card from the game and put 1 mid-match card from your ringside pile into your backlash deck.
So
We're
one
not
of
using
the
those yet. Yep.
mid-match things. Okay. So I keep going?
Yep. You're on the move. You're beating me up.
That's right. I'm beating you up. How about next up? Get entangled in the ropes. A submission maneuver. After it resolves, I can put 3 cards from your hand on the bottom of your arsenal, or you cannot play cards during your next turn.
Let's play the return bash for Scotty's Worm.
The same thing?
Reverse any non-unique card that does not have etc. in it. Yep.
All right.
And then I have to discard a card because I played a reverse.
It's reversed.
Here. All right, mine.
Yours.
Draw a card. Isn't this hilarious? Once you get the flow of this going, it's like this would move very quickly. I'm excited to get to that. All right, let's do some stuff. Wow. How many is that? Hold on.
You got a lot of fortitude you can play.
I like this play. Let's go. Shane O'Mac delivers the bash. Your opponent, it's an action. Your opponent overturns cards equal to the number of cards with bash in the title in my ring area. So I have 6 out here. The maximum that this can be is 10, and it does 5 damage. So assuming the action holds, it's going to be 11 cards.
Batista the Phenom is a physically dominant force. I'm going to play physically dominant force. Reverse any action card and end your opponent's turn. Search
Come
your
on.
arsenal for 1
I
card.
thought that was
put it
my
into your
surefire
hand.
damage to get to the threshold I need.
All right. I searched for 1 card. Put it
I'm
into
getting
my
this,
hand.
and I'm loving it.
Physically dominant
I need you to beat me up a
force.
little so I can Hulk up. Let's do it.
I got the belt. Okay. Let's go.
That's a really good piece of advice. They were saying you can basically put all your zeros together
Like
that,
one row.
That way when you're counting up the actual fortitude, it's like it's all right here.
Right on. Right on.
That makes sense.
All right, let me do Batista's ability.
I am a real.
Let's
Dude,
discard
I'm so
a
ready.
card. Search for a running spine buster.
All right, hit me. What's it say?
It's just a 4 fortitude, 7 damage card. It's a throwback card, running spine buster throwback. When it's in my ring area, during my turn, I can put it into my ringside pile and shuffle 2 other cards from ringside into my arsenal.
Nice.
Okay, so I'll grab that. I also need to draw, which I did not do. Whee! And then I can
Give
play
him the
heat
break.
cards, right? So I should always do that because that's going to keep my deck alive
That's
for longer.
right. Cards are the resource in the game.
Yeah.
I am a real American.
How about a
This is-
running elbow smash?
All right.
It's a heat strike. It's a throwback card. When successfully played, you can look at my hand, choose a card, and put it on top of my deck.
And it's important to note, so throwback, I'm going to tell you about this concept. This is delightful. So you'll notice some of the titles and some of the cards are crazy. It like goes across the art because the titles are so long. And throwback is when they wanted to use the same title but make a new card. They would literally throw back to it. I
That's
thought it was
super
like
smart.
just reprinting the card, but it's like the same thing. It'll be different art, and then they throw back, which is hilarious.
It's
okay,
cool.
let's see. I can't do anything. It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Here
yeah,
comes-
hold on, Mike. So wait, if you do the shuffling, you'll remove your heat first for that spine buster as a reminder. Tell me how that works again.
So anytime you would shuffle cards in here back into your deck, any ability that does that, all your heat cards from your discard pile get removed from game.
Okay.
So it's
So
like-
don't do that most of the time.
Do you have something that's doing that?
I think I did. I searched for well, it would be anytime. I don't know.
It's
I don't
mainly
remember.
so ringside being your discard pile. When you shuffle it back into your arsenal, is a special trigger that gets rid of your heat.
Okay, so for any reason, if I were to do that, okay. All right. No elbow smash. You can't reverse that thing.
Nope, we got
Take 8.
8 coming. All right.
It's a
1,
strike.
2, 3, 4. Let's wrestle already. As a reversal, when overturned by non-damage card effect. So it is a damage effect. 4, 5. This is Bash Evader. Reverse any card that moves any number of cards from your ring area or any submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn. It's not. That's number 5. Number 6, Miyamo Armando. Nothing. Number 7 and number 8. Just a clean punch.
Oh, a clean running
Just-
elbow smash.
This is
I've
what I
not
needed
seen
you to
that
do so I can
before.
Hulk up. Gotta power it up. All right, your threshold's getting pretty high here.
We're getting there.
You're at 23.
How about, well, if you couldn't reverse that strike, I'm going to guess you can't reverse another strike. How about another running elbow smash?
I'm being
Oh, wait, hold on.
tired of your game.
You get to put it, you get to put something from my hand on the top of my deck.
Oh, I
here.
get to look and do this?
Yeah, when successfully played, your opponent may look at your hand, choose one card, and put it on the top of your arsenal.
Hey, this is all yellow.
Yeah, I got nothing but heat, man.
Dude, look at that Batista
Coming at you.
Spinebuster.
Now, there's probably cards in here I can play from.
I can't let you play this Batista Spinebuster. That's too much damage.
Yeah,
You got a hand.
it goes back to the top of my deck. So I can go search it out again if I need to. Okay. All right, this doesn't, nothing too weird here.
All right, let's just put that elbow smash on the top of your deck there.
Okay. Well, how about we play a heat card? Now, I can just play a heat card from my discard pile as long as I have 6 or more, right?
Once a turn.
Once a turn.
Yep.
Okay.
I like this. Carlos says, I hope that's a shirt you don't like because it's going to have to be ripped before the stream
So
is
this
done.
is the second one. My wardrobe is not stream compatible. I'm too much of an interesting dresser. Then maybe I should take the Zach Bunn method and just dress in the cloak of night.
The cloak of night.
All right, how about a slap right from the discard pile, right from ringside?
I love it.
0 fortitude, 2 damage. I can draw a card or shuffle 1 card from my ringside pile into my arsenal. Apparently, heat cards don't trigger the heat remove from play thing.
Okay.
But Michael, tell me.
I can't stop it. Taking 2?
Taking 2.
All right, first card. Second card, nothing.
Ooh. Uh-oh. I'm at 25. You know what time it is.
Can Hulk stop it? I see that supercharge coming down the pipe.
It's Batista's Spinebuster. 25 Fortitude, 15 damage as a maneuver. Shuffle up to 3 cards from my ringside pile back into my arsenal.
And
if it lands.
So if it lands, that would also, because you're shuffling cards in, all the remaining heat cards would get removed from game, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to try to stop it. In my day, a maneuver was just a maneuver. Or a maneuver was a maneuver. It's got Hulk giving the boot on it. Can only be packed by a Legend Superstar, so that's why it's in the deck. As a reversal, completely reverse any hybrid maneuver or multi-maneuver. Oh, wait, that's not this.
It's not hybrid or multi.
It's a grapple. Nope. It's not.
It's unique.
Hold
Get
on.
out of here, Mr. Hogan.
Oh, no.
He thought he had it,
I
but
can't stop
at
it.
the end, he didn't.
I thought I had the trap card.
Take 15 damage.
All right, number
And
one.
then I'm going to shuffle 3 cards from ringside into my arsenal.
Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. As a reverse any card that cannot be reversed or a foreign object. Nope. Number 5. Hulking up. Can only be played after a successfully played maneuver. Blank that maneuver as text and damage until the end of the turn and end your opponent's turn. This card is in your ring or arena. I don't think I can Hulking up this, right? It's number 4.
Okay, so I'll put 3 cards back into my arsenal and shuffle that. And then I'll remove all heat cards from the game. Is that right? Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to keep going. Number 5, overshot your mark. Reverse any strike. What is this? Special and a grapple.
This is
Nope.
a disaster.
Number 6. Number 7. Number 8.
Keep going.
Number 9.
Keep going.
Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn. I can draw a card.
Any strike,
A
grapple.
revolution of the mind.
Ugh, gosh, universal.
When it reverses when overturned, I remove it from the game.
Wow. All right, revolution of
And
the
then I
mind
draw a
indeed. You did it.
All right, you ready
You
for
just
the,
got out of the spine buster, huh?
You ready for the heat?
Yeah.
Let's do it. First things first, let's play a bash kick.
Oh, it is a hybrid. How do we know that Spinebuster is a hybrid?
It's got
Is it
the two
because it's got
colors.
both of them? Oh, okay. So you could have reversed it with that card.
No, it was a multi-maneuver card. So
Only
it has to be
multis?
like a grapple, or a special move.
Okay.
Bash kick. It's a 7 fortitude, 10 damage.
Oh, not a big deal.
I want to pull this off so bad.
Just a 10 bash kick.
Yeah, so Batista's Spinebuster will remove all the heat cards, which you did.
Yeah. So you kind of want to make sure you can land that one. All right. So what you're saying is I got nothing. Nothing at all. So.
Oh, that card I was going to play, it can reverse any hybrid or multi-maneuver, so I could have stopped it, but it's fine.
So it's hybrid. It doesn't say hybrid. We just have to
just
know
is a
because it
hybrid,
has
yeah.
2 things on it. Okay.
You can't stop it? Here comes 10.
1,
1, 2.
2. Unexpected turn of events.
You're looking for
Reverse
a
any
strike.
grapple maneuver.
It's a strike.
3. As a reversal when played from your hand. It's not. 4. 5. 6. 7. Ooh, the Batista bomb. What?
Yeah, feel free to read the titles. That way they pop up and people can read the cards as they
That
go.
Batista bomb is a 40 fortitude, 40 damage finisher. My gosh.
The finisher's the heat.
Where are we on? 7.
1, 2,
maybe.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the 9th card.
9.
What's
Can
it
only
called?
be played from ringside. Leave me alone. Which it's not being played from ringside. 10. Got me.
And the crowd goes wild. He lands the kick. And then he attempts the Hollywood leg drop. 40 fortitude.
Wow,
and I've
that's a
got it.
Big boy.
Can only be played after a successfully played maneuver. So not only do I have to have the fortitude, I have to play a maneuver and it has to
Wow.
be successful. And then I have to get a next maneuver. It's a trademark finisher plus trademark finisher. Does 30 damage.
Nothing. It's a grapple.
It is no, it's just a trademark finisher, trademark finisher.
Just a finisher. Double finisher.
finisher.
Oh my god, it's so game
30
over.
damage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Let's see. Reverse any grapple. No.
6, 7. Leave me alone. 8, 9, 10, 11. What's the card?
Reverse any non-trademark finisher. It's a trademark finisher, right?
It is.
11, 12. Revolution of the Mind. Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission, which it is not, right? It's just a
Right.
finisher.
Mm-hmm.
It's just dead everywhere.
And the
Is that
leg
it?
drop finishes them.
Reverse any non-trademark finisher. Yeah, okay. So there's nothing that could reverse that, I imagine, right?
I had cards that specifically could reverse finishers, but you would have to have 2 of those cards hit.
I don't think I have any of them that can reverse finishers. So you just need to not get finishered.
Once you're getting into finishing territory, it's a problem.
Yeah, when played from the ringside pile, reverse any non-setup action card. Okay, that's not gonna. All right, so let's look at these decks then.
So yeah, that's what I want to look through the cards and just read them for a second,
Yeah.
understanding how to play, and then we'll look at the bash cards as well, so we can just understand, because that's going to add a lot of variety. So like on the finisher I had, which is crazy. I'm curious what yours said. The Hollywood leg drop. To do it, I have to successfully do a maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
So if you stop that maneuver, I can't ever do the finisher.
Can't do the leg drop, right?
Yeah. So I'm just going to divide out by card type real quick.
I'm just gonna look at these reversals. Okay, so that makes sense. So Ben Clapperton, 5 types of maneuvers: strikes, grapples, submissions, high risk, and trademark finishers. Okay. Spine Buster's a hybrid reversal. Unexpected turn of events is a reversal. Quick reflexes is a reversal. And you think there's deck building rules around like how many reversals you can include versus maneuvers and that kind of thing?
I have no clue.
Because I'd imagine you don't want somebody just to roll in with like nothing but reversals, right?
The problem with that is reversals cost fortitude, so you have to be able to get fortitude to play them, and you don't win by just waiting. Your opponent will win every time if you're just like hanging around.
You think so?
Well, because like you're gonna have to hit the right reversals,
Mm.
and like even if they're hitting 4 or 5 cards, if you're just never doing anything. Velocian says Zach didn't point at Steven and go "you" before. I call a judge for a DQ. Mike says you can't have 3 of any card that isn't unique, more than 3. Otherwise, I think you just roll. Love it. What you gonna do, brother?
Okay. All right. So let's look at these reversals. I just want to look at what I'm capable of here.
Yeah, and I think understanding like in your deck which reversals you have and what they counter would make this obviously go way faster.
And then you've got your signature cards too. So that's gonna have an impact. Okay, cool. So I've got basically 3 of all of these different reversals. So let's look at what they do. So starting with the old Spine Buster. So as a maneuver, it's -4 fortitude and you discard a card. And as a reversal, you can reverse a grappler submission in your opponent's turn. Okay, so I should load up my hand with Spine Busters because that's Batista's thing. And then basically get to a point where I'm at 10 fortitude and I can reverse almost anything. So I get that. That makes sense.
So say that again. Sorry.
The Spine Buster, basically 10 fortitude, but you can play it as a reversal for a grapple or a submission or as a maneuver. So it seems like a good one to save. It's because I can get Spine Busters in my hand, so I can just keep reversing things. That seems really annoying.
You reverse and do 6 damage, so you're building your pool.
Sidewalk Slam is anything that can't be reversed can be reversed. So that's something. Revolution of the Mind, reverse anything in your opponent's turn.
That's the classic
Aside from
one.
the 3, yeah.
We each have 3 of those.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the wild reversal.
Headstrong, you can only play it from your discard pile. Reverse any non-unique maneuver of 10 damage or less. So I should be discarding Headstrong to go get Spine Busters to keep these in my discard pile.
Yeah, and then you play them from your discard so they interplay and they actually do damage. So
Yeah.
he's actually a really like consistent reverser.
Same with Leave Me Alone. Can only be played from the discard pile. When played from it, remove any non-setup action card in your opponent's turn. Reverse any non-setup action card. So this reverses actions. This reverses non-unique maneuvers of any kind. Okay, that makes sense. And then unexpected turn of events. Reverse any grapple maneuver. And then because I have such a low superstar value, this makes sense. Batista's going to pack this, and he can reverse big grapples and then draw a card. Okay. And then signature, we got physically dominant force. Reverse any action card, and then search for a card and put it into my hand. The animal. Reverse any non-trademark finisher maneuver and end your opponent's turn. So basically, this is any maneuver that is not a trademark finisher. So the animal can reverse anything, which is nice. Nothing ever stays the same. Again, reverse anything and end your opponent's turn, unless it's a trademark finisher.
So you have a lot of universal reverses.
Yeah, and then put up to 4 cards from your ringside pile on the bottom of your arsenal. I wonder if that would trigger the heat removal or not. Putting on the bottom, I wonder if it's the same as shuffling
I
in.
think the heat is specifically shuffling in.
Okay, we can check that. And then finally, Batista Spinebuster is also a reversal. You can reverse a strike or a high risk and end your opponent's turn. So everything here, are all your signature cards also reversals?
No.
Or most of them?
Well, all my signature cards?
Like I've got 4 Batista signatures that can reverse a thing. That seems like maybe his deal.
He's obviously, so you want to go get the Spinebusters, and you can discard Headstrongs to do it, and play Headstrongs from your discard pile.
And leave me alone.
And those are all your, they're not even necessarily your cards. So you can see the little logo here for your wrestler.
Yeah, only these 4 Batista cards.
Yeah, so I have mine here, which I think will give, look at this one, it's hilarious. So never forgive, never forget. Look at the number of signature things it's got there. Those little icons on the side.
Yeah.
My goodness. So I also have 3, a Revolution of the Mind, which seems to be a pretty just generically good card.
Generic reversal.
It
1
reverses
damage.
a strike, grapple, or submission, and it does a damage and lets you draw a card. I also have, so my deck is the Bash deck. Like I played that card that does stuff for every Bash. The Return Bash for Scotty's Worm. You reverse any non-unique card that doesn't have Blast, Blindside, Dynamic, Precision, or Shoot in the title.
Et cetera, et cetera.
Then search your arsenal for a maneuver with Bash in the title, so I can go get a Bash card with it.
Yeah, Blossom Jr., we played a ton of Super Show. It is good on Twitch.
Miamo Armando. There's actually more of the title here. Look. Alejandro Estrada.
Oh, Estrada.
That's
nice.
hilarious. Can only be played when you have a maneuver with the word Bash, Blindside, Dynamic, Precision, Shoot in your title in the ring area. So I have to have a Bash out. When played from my hand, reverse any non-unique card and end your opponent's turn. Non-unique card. Not even like...
Wow.
It's an act. It can be an action as well.
It's a big deal.
Then I have the Bash Evader. It does 2 damage.
I see.
Reverse any card that removes any number of cards from your ring area or any submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn. So you have stuff that there's apparently cards that can take stuff out of the ring area.
Okay.
And that's a cancel for it.
Okay. Because that would make sense. Because if that happens to a Bash deck, you wouldn't have the Bash events in your thing, and then you can't play your Bash cards.
Which could be bad. Then I have a couple. Those were all 3 ofs. Then there's a 2 of, which is Overshot Your Mark. Reverse any strike maneuver of 5 damage or greater, any high risk maneuver, or any maneuver played after the card titled Irish Whip. And end your opponent's turn, then it does damage equal the number of reverse maneuver, the damage you were going to do. So I basically whip you, flip it on you. Then I have a bunch of 1-ofs, and that's where, like, when I get to the Hulk specific cards, the original WWE icon, it's 14 Fortitude, doesn't do any damage. Reverse any action card and end your opponent's turn. Put 1 card from ringside, so my discard pile, into my hand, or search my arsenal for a card, put it in my hand, and shuffle.
Nice.
He also the Immortal 1 Hulk Hogan card.
The Immortal Claw.
When I play a reversal, I discard a card. When you play a reversal, I draw a card.
Yeah.
So really, ultimately, not encouraging me to reverse often. Hulking Up can only be played after a successfully played maneuver. So you have to successfully play a maneuver, and then he hulks up. So he takes the damage and then rolls. I get the second one, basically. I can blank the maneuver's text and damage till the end of the turn and in your turn. When it's in my ring area, so when I successfully play it, I don't discard any cards after I play the card titled No Cell Maneuver.
That's hilarious. Just so specific. Of course it is.
So yeah, I mean, you're getting the basic idea, right?
Yeah,
I don't
that makes
necessarily need to
sense.
run these. I think you just want to run it back.
Yeah, we can run it back.
And do you want to integrate the old pre-craziness?
We can
or you
try.
want to do one more of this?
I think we can try. We can give it a shot. See what happens.
All right.
And apparently it's about setting up my opening heat. So basically Batista wants to get these heat cards in the discard pile so that I can play them right off the bat.
If you have like one of 5 or 6 different cards in there, you literally can just toolbox it for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just going to pick a couple of these pre-event cards that I think look fun based on the titles.
Pre-match events. Okay. You may search your arsenal for 1 heat card, put in your and shuffle your arsenal. Yeah. Your heat maneuvers are +1. Oh, of course. So you got to have that. Now, how does this phase work? Do you know how we resolve it?
So
Did we just put them
basically
in?
what happens is we would reveal our character cards. Then Hulk actually has a special backstage area card, and it says it's Feathered Boa, can only be revealed from your backstage area when you reveal your superstar card. So I reveal Hulk, and I immediately show you that I have this. Then during the game, during your opponent's turn, you may hide this card, so you flip it over, to blank the text on an action card or maneuver card played by him for the rest of the turn.
Wow, nice.
So I can just basically
you got a
blank one of your cards. Yep.
No go.
And that's how Hulk works. So then the pre-show cards, there's the purple versions, which are the pre-match cards that we're doing. So what's going to happen is there's a particular order to this phase.
Mike also said he included some suggested pre-match setups in the document that he sent.
Yeah,
If you
I
wanna
have
check
that.
out.
I don't have anything for Hulk, but for Batista, New Orleans, Louisiana, the venue, the Destroyer, It's Getting Hot in Here, and then double spontaneous combustion. And so the way this works is,
of course, yeah.
I'm the first player, so we're going to go back and forth playing cards. Technically, there can only be one venue in play. So like if the first card that I chose to play was a venue, you can't play a venue. But it literally goes in this order. Venue, feud, stipulation, manager, and then any other pre-match card. And the way it will work is like this. So like I get the first chance to play a venue and I say pass. Then you can play a venue. So you can play Louisiana.
Let's play. We're going to Nolans.
And what's that say?
It says it's a heat venue, of course. When you successfully play a heat maneuver, you may shuffle one card from your ringside pile into your arsenal. When this card is put into your ringside pile, remove it from the game instead. So if we ever, I guess, bail on the arena during the game, then things happen.
All right, I found the recommendations for
The Hulk.
the Hulk, the immortal one.
The Hulkman recommendations. And then, okay, so that's Nolans. So when I successfully play, I shuffle a card into my arsenal. That's also going to remove all my heat cards from the discard
So
pile.
these are basically like things. Let me see this.
It's like agendas. I mean, you're kind of setting up your pre-match conditions.
All right, yeah, okay. So then it goes back to me because I'm the first player.
Everyone talking about Super Show out there? Yes, we're aware. We've played it many, many times. We're very big fans.
So after the venue is set, then we get to the feud. So if you had any, basically I get a chance to play a feud. I'm gonna pass because I don't have any.
And it would say like feud at the top?
Yeah, it would say
pre-match feud or something?
It would say feud in it.
Okay, I don't have anything there.
All right. And then we both pass, so then we go to the next one, which is stipulation. So if there are any stipulations, like, you'll see wrestlers betting their houses or their cars or like their relationships are on it. I've seen that before, right? So nice. I pass, you pass. Then we get to the manager step. So I have this one here, managed by the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart.
Of course. Can
only be packed by a legend superstar. When this card is in my ring area, you can put this card into your ring side, so you discard it, to completely reverse any non-unique maneuver and end your opponent's turn. When this card is in your ringside pile, you may remove this card from the game to reverse any non-unique maneuver and end your opponent's turn.
Wow, so 2 reversals.
2 just automatic reversals. He's my manager, right? So he's going to distract you, and he's going to cause issues with the refs and whatnot. So then you get to play manager if you have one. And
don't have
play
one.
Yeah. And normally this would be a stack of 12 cards you could choose from. So you can kind of react to your opponent, right?
Okay, it's a little meta game going on here.
And then literally we go back and forth. Now we're in the any other pre-match card until both of us pass. So this is where we would just keep playing.
We can play up to 5.
And you can have up to 5 cards here,
okay.
Which is why you may or may not want to play a manager. You may or may not want to play a venue.
Okay, I got you.
So then I have to go first, and I'm just going to pick random cards to play. I'm going to play I Am a Real American. After all cards have been played in the pre-match, choose a number from 0 to 10. My starting hand size is reduced by that number, and your superstar value is my starting hand size is reduced and my superstar value is increased by that much. So basically, after we play all these cards, I could say 3, and then my starting hand size is 3 less, but then my superstar value is 3 more.
10.
So I can basically guarantee that I'm going first.
Superstar, yeah. Okay, yeah.
And then now you get to play a card.
All right, I'll be the destroyer here. My superstar value is +1, and then while it's in my ring area, if my fortitude rating is 10 or greater, I can put this card into my ringside pile, and then you discard cards equal to the number of maneuver cards in my ring area +3, and your next maneuver played this turn can only be reversed from arsenal. So basically, the destroyer comes in once I get a little bit set up, and then it becomes a really bad moment for you, where I force you to discard a bunch of cards from your hand, and then you can't reverse things except from your arsenal.
All right, cool.
So one big moment.
All right. Next, I'm going to play the card through all of these years. Can only be packed by a legend. Got it. The maximum number of pre-match cards you may have in your ring area is increased by 1.
Ah, so you can have 6 to my 5.
During your turn, or if you're about to lose the game via pinfall victory. So if you're the one decking me, you may put this into your ringside pile, shuffle up to 9. So basically, when I would lose because you were doing it, I'd get rid of this, and I can shuffle 9 cards back into my deck.
Okay, cool. So we'll save you here. Okay, nice. Let's do it. It's Getting Hot in Here.
Apparently, New Orleans is a heat card. So heat cards don't make you reshuffle the thing. So that's a
Heat
way
cards
to get your
don't
cards back.
penalize you for healing. That makes sense. It's getting hot in here. At the end of the pre-match phase, discard up to 4 heat cards, and your opponent discards the same number of cards minus 1.
Wow.
So I guess we'll have a hand.
Yep.
Or maybe we already have a hand.
You would have a hand after we set these up.
Okay.
But then you would be able to do that. So
I'm going to discard heat cards to make you discard
yeah, the
cards.
last thing of the pre-match is drawing, and then all the pre-match, end of pre-match is
Right on.
Premier WWF Superstar. At the end of the pre-match phase, the superstar with the greatest total superstar value may force an opponent to take a number of cards equal to the greatest superstar value and put them into his respective ringside pile. If no superstar has a greater superstar value than the others, then nothing occurs.
Okay, so you make me discard cards from my deck at the start.
Yep. And basically, because of, I see what's going on here, because of I am a real American, I can basically guarantee my superstar value is higher than yours.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to allow me to trigger this to make you just auto.
And it basically gives me less life over the course of the
Yep.
game, right? Just discard
Which is
cards
kind of
from
cool
me.
because it's like you're intimidated by the Hulk.
Then we have a spontaneous combustion. At the end of the pre-match phase, search my arsenal for a heat card, put it into my ringside pile, shuffle my arsenal.
Nice.
While it's in the ring area, all heat maneuvers are +1 damage.
Ooh,
And
that's
I've got
really good.
I've got 2 of those.
Okay,
I'll just
yeah,
play
you
them.
want to do that twice.
Yeah.
All right, then I have the best laid plans. I cannot pack this card if you're packing face cards. So another thing that's really cool, there's a subtype on some of these that is either face or heel.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby face or the heel.
Yeah.
And if you, basically a deck building restriction is if you have any face cards in your deck, you can't have any heel cards in your deck
Right
and vice
on.
versa.
Yeah.
And then it says, after all players' pre-match phases, before the first turn of the game, all players with fewer cards in their hand than their printed started hand size draw cards until they have cards in their hand equal to their printed starting hand size.
So you discard cards, get extra superstar value, and then draw up. Is that the idea?
Yeah, so basically, I don't have a penalty for making my stat as high as it needs to be, and I'm going to get a draw back up.
Right on.
And it says, if any player first reveals a heel card in his hand, he instead draws to his printed starting hand size +2. Hold on.
Not that it'll matter. I don't have any heal stuff, I don't think.
All right.
No heal things.
So
Wow, you just add a ton of complexity here.
Yeah.
That's what this is. This is like old school. This is exactly 2000s, 90s. Let's try to remember 1,000 variables printed on cards before the game even starts. Like
Yeah.
the Middle-earth card game is the same way. That Lord of the Rings was the same way. You have to read and comprehend a lot of
I think
text.
having like 1 or 2 of those cards that you choose.
Yeah.
But-
Of course, you know, it gets normal,
Yeah.
like all things.
and
but
that's where like when you know what they do. So gonna go ahead now. Before I draw, let me just read back through this. That's the 2 free cancels. This is the I can reduce my hand size, and then I'll get to draw back up because of the best laid plans.
Okay, so this one I don't have to worry about.
That's the like I don't just die.
Wow, he's so good at Nolans. Huh.
This is pretty cool. So because of Premier WWF Superstar, I can. Where's the card that lets me do it? So I'm a real American. I could literally choose a number from 0 to 10. My starting hand size is a 7. So if I chose 7,
Or a 9, yeah. Your superstar value is a 7?
yeah, my superstar is a 9. So I could literally choose 0 to 10. Let's say I chose 10. My hand size is -10.
Mm-hmm.
So I start with 0 cards. But my superstar value is +10. So my superstar value now is
17.
17. And that's that. But then at the end of the phase, this little phase, the superstar with the greatest total superstar value can force their opponent to take a number of cards equal to the greatest superstar value and put them in their respective ringside pile. If no superstar has a greater superstar value, then nothing occurs. So I could literally get to 17
Mm-hmm.
and then make you discard 17 cards from the top of your deck.
Okay.
Is that how that works?
From the top of the deck.
Or is it from your hand?
Your superstar value and put them in their respective. Huh. Is this like a is this a mill deck? What's going on? I guess they're all mill decks. At the end of the pre-match, the superstar with the greatest total superstar value may force an opponent to take a number of cards equal to the value and put them into his respective ringside pile. Take a number of cards from where?
I think it's from the top of your deck.
Why not give me an overturn already? Correct. Okay. Mike says correct. Yes, correct.
So then,
Okay, from the deck. Okay, so 17 cards starting out, flipped.
that seems insane. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And then the best laid plans means after all players' pre-match phases, I draw up to my hand size.
Yeah.
So the penalty for that should be I don't have a hand,
Yeah.
but then I get my hand because of this card.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Donovan's saying it was brutal.
But then
the wrestling meta.
those are literally gone. So basically what you learn is that this combination of 3 cards, and this is a Hulk only card, is that I can make that value go up to 17. I can make you discard that many cards from your hand, and then I can draw up to my hand size. Is literally what those 3 cards say.
Jim Forrester, welcome to the brokenness of Raw Deal for those who have never played it.
So is that amount of insanity, like, is that overpowered, or is that just what every wrestler needs to bring to the table with these abilities? Is something that good?
Donovan said it was broken. They nerfed it in the virtual. That's hilarious. Glad no one's playing Andre. All right, well, who knows what that is.
How about instead of 17, we just make it like 8?
It's fine. I think it's fine with Batista. I mean, he's got heat card. He wants him in there anyway. So I'm probably just going to cancel. It says May. At the end of the pre-match phase, you may search and put it into your ringside pile. I figure I'm about to have 17 cards in there. I'll probably do okay.
Yeah, so mine would resolve first because I'm obviously I have a higher superstar value.
We need to draw first, yeah?
Well, I don't draw because of my ability. And then I draw back up when these are resolved.
So I need to draw first. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, 8 cards in. Then we have into the pre-match triggers. So yours are going to go first, is that right?
Yeah.
Hogan,
Go ahead.
Hogan has to have a heal card in hand to redraw to his starting hand size. Is that what it
is
says?
that true?
What's the redraw card say? Just leave me alone.
It says, after all players' pre-match phases before the first turn of the game, all players with fewer cards in their hand than their printed starting hand size draw cards until they have cards in their hand equal to the printed starting hand size. If any player first reveals a heal card, they get +2. So I don't get the +2.
Okay, yeah.
But I do get my hand.
You get your hand size at 9, yeah? So let's see. Into pre-match stuff triggers. So your thing hits first, and that means I discard 17?
That's right.
Is that right?
Just a casual third of your deck. It is nice
okay.
with the heat stuff, though. At least there's that.
At least there's that.
Donovan's saying I don't think that's correct, but
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Okay, 17 cards. Then, at the end of the pre-match phase, I discard up to 4 heat cards, and you discard the same number of cards, but you wouldn't have drawn your cards yet, right? Is that what we're saying? You don't have cards at the end of the pre-match phase.
When my pre-match resolves is when I have to draw back up with the best laid plans.
Okay, so it's getting hot in here.
I think it totally affects me, yeah.
So you would have cards, yeah?
And do I discard those from my hand or from my deck?
I think discard's probably from your hand. I'll bet it's from your hand. So I discard 4 heat cards because I'd have to be able to choose the heat cards from my hand, and then you do the same -1. So I discard 4, you discard 3, I discard 3, you discard 2, etc. Okay. Okay. Let me discard 1. And let me make sure I've got this in here. 1 heat, 2 heat, 3 heat, 4 heat, 5 heat, 6 heat, 7 heat, 8 heat, 9 heat, 10 heat. I've got heat in different area codes here.
Oh, hilarious. Okay, so that's not actually correct. So best laid plan says after all players' pre-match phases.
Yeah. So you would discard 0. That's what I thought. Trademark finisher. Yeah. Okay. So I'm only going to discard 1, since it's not going to be a disadvantage for you, and I've already got plenty of heat cards in there. So then we'll move on to, I'm not going to trigger the search arsenal for a heat card, put it in ringside. I'm not going to do either of those because I just don't want more cards in my discard right now. And that's it. Now they will give me +1 damage to all of my maneuvers. And these stay in play, seems like?
Yeah.
Okay.
They would just enter.
So there are probably some that contribute damage or something, maybe?
I assume so. So what I have left, just so you're aware, is through all of these years, if you discard my cards, I get 9 back. Like I stop, get 9 back, and we keep going. Then I have Jimmy, managed by the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. And I basically have 2 auto cancels built in.
And then do we both draw up, or just you draw up with that card? I think it's just you, yeah?
All players with fewer cards in their hand than their printed hand size draw.
5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
And these actually interplay because they can get discarded. It's really funny because the managed by, it's like, I think I want to cancel early maneuvers of yours to stop your curve, but I could also save it to cancel because it's an auto cancel.
Cancel the big boys.
The big baddie. All right, I'm first because I had a 17 superstar power.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play Hogan's patented overhand punch. It's a strike. Can only be reversed from your opponent's hand and arsenal. So you couldn't reverse it with like a card down here.
Or from the ringside.
Yeah.
Most importantly for me, let me get my heat cards going here. Heat. Okay, cool. So I'll put those there, the ones that don't matter. And then this is basically like managing 2 hands. In your ring area, the maximum number of heat cards you play each turn. Oh, I see. Okay. Boy, this could get all sorts of weird. Okay, now you attempt to play Hogan's patented overhand punch. Who could patent an overhand punch? That's ridiculous.
I know exactly what it looks like.
Reverse from hand or arsenal. Okay.
I'm going to get rid of stuff that doesn't matter. Are you all right with that?
Yeah. How about some quick reflexes? Reverse any strike of 7 damage or less and end your opponent's turn. Draw a card. Consider yourself striked.
Struck. Stop the hand punch.
Boom. Quick reflexes. Back over to me. How about let's try to play just an easy mode here.
Oh, wait. It's a multi. It's got the strike.
Ah, okay.
So you can still do 1 and play it. And then if the second one flips when you're flipping cards, it's going to...
I'll just do 2.
Get it.
I mean, what if we just reversed it twice with a revolution of the mind? Reverse any strike, grappler, submission. I may draw a card.
And they both do a damage.
Yeah.
I am a real American. All right, 2 damage taken.
Take that damage. Okay, then let's do, so these low damage cards are pretty fascinating actually because they give you less chance to flip. How about, here we go. Let's try to entangle you in the ropes. It's a heat submission, 3 fortitude, 1 damage.
I'm going to play the return bash for Scotty's worm. Canceled. Reveal it. I get to search for a bash card and put it in my hand. Okay, that's pretty good because it lets me go get potentially 0 fortitude bashes that I need.
0 fortitude.
Nope. Come on.
And then when you play a reversal, you discard a card, and then you draw a card when I do. Is that right?
That's right. So I guess I should have drawn one earlier. We'll just get the bash headlock.
Bash headlock. Those are 2 separate ideas.
And then I have to discard a card. And this says...
I hope it says you can reverse my thing. Or does it?
But I still have to discard a card. Let's get rid of that. All right, start of my turn, I draw a card.
You got it.
Well, pass.
Oh, yeah. Nothing but reversals.
And you draw a card?
Draw a card. Let's try to entangle you in the ropes again. Heat card, 1 a turn. Submission. Throwback. Entangle in the ropes.
Let's do it again. The return bash for Scotty's worm.
Return to the Mac.
And I have to discard a card. Well, I get to go get a bash, and then I have to discard a card.
That's right.
Bash suplex.
Hey, Tanuki, good to see you. Watch the rest of the painting stream. Hey, thanks. Good job on the models.
Thank you very much.
Zach
That was a
Shields,
fun
sir,
stream.
turned out insane. What's up, Quay? So cool to see this game again. Yeah, we're getting it now.
All right, and then I am going to discard a Mi Amo Armando. And then starting my turn, I'll draw a card. There it is. I'm going to use my I Am a Real American. It says when this card is in your ring area during your turn, you may put it into your ringside pile and search my arsenal for a superstar-specific maneuver or superstar-specific action. So I get to go get a Hulk card out of my deck with I Am a Real American.
And that's just a normal... That's
It's just a discard it
thing.
from play, basically.
Okay.
So I'm going to just look.
So you just go get to search your deck for anything, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah, and I get to keep doing this.
I'm going to
Haven't
get
done it yet.
I Live for My Hulkamaniacs, which is amazing. This is awesome. I see what's happening here. This is going to be great. Like 3 more games of this, and I'm going to be a Hulkamaniac. It's going to be crazy. Hulkmania, we're going to run wild.
So my fortitude rating is equal to the damage I've done, yeah?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so then I'm going to play an action. I Live for My Hulkamaniacs.
Leave me alone. Played for my
No.
ringside. Reverse any non-setup action card. Is it a setup action card?
It's not a setup action card.
And end your opponent's turn.
Oh, this is the crazy. I Live for My Hulkamaniacs throwback card.
Search your arsenal for one maneuver without text and reveal it.
We should all start reading the flavor text. So this says, that's right, brother. It's gone.
All right, how about this? Arsenal for one maneuver without text. A spinning kick doesn't have any text.
Oh, wait. That reversal leaving
Oh,
is
it
a
costs
9
9,
fortitude.
yeah, doesn't it?
Haha!
Okay.
And the I Live for My Hulkamaniacs is a throwback version.
Okay. Check this, check this, check this, check this. All right, it's good.
All right, it says put cards from my ringside pile on top of my arsenal equal to the superstar value. So that's 17. Or 16 was my superstar value.
And you're doing what with it?
I'm going to actually I think it's my printed superstar, 7. So I put 7 cards from here on top of my deck.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says search my deck for one superstar specific card. So I get to go get another one and then I shuffle.
Okay.
I just need a 0 cost maneuver that's Hulk specific.
Okay, so nothing. I need to get off the landing pad here.
There it is. It's the one you canceled.
I am a real American.
Then I'm going to try to do Hogan's patented overhand punch, double strike.
You got it.
All right, 5 damage coming at you. Getting some fortitude out here.
1, 2, reverse special, any non-trademark maneuver. End your opponent's turn. When played by Barista, put up to 4 cards from your ringside pile
Barista.
on the bottom of your arsenal. All right, it is played by Batista.
So this is a strike. And it's
Okay.
also that's 12 fortitude.
Well, this is from my deck, though. Does that matter?
Does fortitude matter from deck? I assume it does.
I don't. 5, 2, 3. Revolution of the Mind. Reverse any strike. Draw a card. And then I'd remove it from the game, but we'll see. Need the fortitude still. Okay, that one doesn't count. I need to flip another one, technically. Don't have the fortitude. Don't have the fortitude. Okay.
All
Hang
right,
on.
it landed. Now I have a 5. All right, let's do this. Now it's time to fight. Let's go bash headlock. So the what it took for me just to land 1 punch to start this chain felt like wrestling. All right, bash headlock. It's a double submission. When successfully played, your opponent discards a card. It's a 2 for 6.
All right, it's good.
All right, you need a double submission cancel.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
All right. Then we're going to be doing a bash suplex, which is a double grapple.
You got it.
And none of this stops any of this?
Mm-mm.
All right, it's 7. Looking for a grapple cancel.
7, looking for a grapple cancel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fortitude, 6, 7. Sidewalk slam. Reversing a card that can't be reversed. It can be reversed.
It sure can be. still at 18.
Not heat, 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 heat. Okay. Lots of heats.
All right, I have a strike. Shoot forearm. It is a 9 damage strike. And
Shoot forearm.
stop a strike.
Cannot.
All right, we got 9 damage coming.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Revolution of the Mind.
You got it.
Reverse a strike. And back in you go. Heat, heat. No heat. Heat, heat.
Wow. These are all heat?
Yeah, everything here is heat.
My gosh.
Just call me playing all the cards. Okay, draw a card to start the turn. Fortitude. Fortitude is 2.
Martin, we're adding the, I'm going to do that after this game, the Backlash mid-match cards. That's apparently there are reversals in here that are like unreal critical.
All right, well, I could try to find a spine breaker, but I'm worried about discarding cards. I feel like I should have plenty. How about take a... Oof. How about take a sucker punch? Strike.
All right.
It's my heat card for the turn.
All right. Well, it's going to land.
All right.
For 8.
For 8.
1, 2. What kind of a thing is it?
Strike. Revolution of the Mind will get it.
All right.
But it still gets played, right? Is that
Yep,
what we
yeah,
decided?
yeah. Once you successfully play
Okay.
it. From top of deck doesn't stop it. All right. Mine, I draw a card.
On YouTube here, Balance and Skytear, I think it's right on. It's fantastic. You can share cards so much across, there's not really a faction balance that you need to care about, honestly. What you got?
Let's go. Bash Headlock.
What is it, submission?
Yep. Double submission.
Anything fancy there?
Just a double submission.
Okay. Is it a non-unique maneuver?
Yep.
Okay. Have a headstrong that can be played from ringside.
It's gone.
Double headstrong. Get out of here. All right. How about let's try to feel the fire. My once per turn from the heat pile. You're going to discard 2 cards, and when it's in my... Oh, I need to draw. When it's in my ring area, if Sparks of Glory is also there, my maximum heat cards is increased by 1. It is not there yet.
You're good.
All right, so discard 2 cards.
Here or here?
Hand is discard, yep. Overturn is the other one.
And 2.
All right. Let's try to get you to feel the fire again.
Oh,
Discard
no.
2 cards.
I'm going to play the Return Bash for Scotty's Worm. I didn't want to waste it on that. It says reverse any non-unique card that does not have the word Bash, Blindside, Dynamic, Precision, or Shoot in the title.
All right, it's reversed.
And then I get to search my arsenal for a maneuver with Bash in the title and reveal it. And then I have to discard a card. Bash
Oh,
punch.
4 damage from the 2 headstrongs, too. The 2 reversals.
All right. I'm just going to do 4.
And then something about 10 damage. 10 damage? 10 of 10D.
I think you need, I don't know. We're just going to keep going. All right. Then I have to discard a card for playing that thing. So then I'll draw a card.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's go for a Bash Slam. It's a grapple for 18 damage.
A bash slam. A grapple, huh? Is it a multi, a double, a whirligig, anything like that?
Just a grapple.
Okay.
But it's got stun too, so I draw 2 of these.
It's
cancel it.
18 damage.
Yep.
That's good. It's not an action card. Can't reverse that. No.
Apparently,
Okay.
each of your heat cards do +2 damage because of your pre-match cards.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. Nope. I don't think I can reverse that. It's too powerful.
All right, he taps. Right?
It's over?
You're out of deck, right?
Yeah. I mean, unless I flip a reversal, right?
Oh, that's right.
2, 3, 4. What? As a reversal, striker, high risk. Nope.
Whoosh.
Okay. Interesting.
So
Interesting, I say.
Interesting is a word. So I think the crazy 16 discard up front is wild. But I also triggered a bunch of stuff there. So if you look at the rest of your off-color stack, it comes with
The mid-match stuff?
these are things you just basically have every game. And I'm not sure how many of these you can play throughout a game. Someone will hopefully help us with that in chat. But like as an example, I'm going to read through a few of mine. Took that on the chin can only be played after a successfully played 8 damage or greater maneuver. If that maneuver is reversed from your arsenal, put that card into your backlash deck. Or this card into your backlash deck. If it is not reversed from your arsenal, you may discard 1 mid-match card. If you do, end your opponent's turn. So basically, after you play an 8 damage card or better, if I don't reverse it from here, I can discard this card and then end your turn.
Okay.
So that's just built in.
All of these, man. My gosh.
So much going on, right? Backlash can only be played when your Fortitude rating is less than my opponent's. It's a backlash for the main backlash card. Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver if it is not the first maneuver played this turn, into the turn. So once you've done a successful thing, I just have a backlash that I can drop on you. Fortitude Surge, look at the art on this.
Yep. Classic.
Can only be played if an effect your opponent controls is modifying your reversal cards.
These cards are insane.
I agree. Look at this title. You're as graceful as a cow on ice.
Yeah, I have that one too. Yeah. Can't be played by Ric Flair. Do you have that one on yours?
No.
Is yours a throwback or anything? Survivor
mine's
Series?
a Survivor Series 3 version.
Huh. And this is the original, I guess.
Hilarious. So mine says can only be played when I have fewer cards in my hand than you, or less fortitude than you. Reverse any card if it is not the first or second card played this turn and end your opponent's turn.
Weird.
Shoot counter can only be played when you have a card in your ring area with shoot in the title. Reverse any card that moves any number of cards from any ringside pile or, oh my goodness.
How do you, I mean, this is insane. This may be more insane than like the Lord of the Rings TCG.
I think it's because it's
There's
like
so
all at
much
once.
text on the board. It's insane. Let's play some different wrestlers. This heat pile is too much. Or you can stick on Hogan if you
I'll
want.
probably stick because adding a whole new batch of variables is going to be hilarious. But then there's these action cards that I can play. Check this out. Good night, everybody. 70 Fortitude. If I have 70 Fortitude, I can just play this card. You win the game via pinfall victory.
Huh.
It's an action.
Okay, there you go.
But I have to get to 70, which means I would have to have done 70 to you.
Nailed it.
And you're not already dead?
Yeah.
So, if you have a way of really recycling your cards very well?
It would also just be like, so let's say you land a 20 Fortitude thing and I reverse it after 2 flips.
Yep.
It's like, but you still have 20
Once
on the
you've
table.
done 70, I can just
Yeah.
win the game. Then I have when Hulk Mania runs wild on you, Hulk only, of course, 20 Fortitude. Look at your opponent's hand, choose a card, and he removes all cards with that title in his hand from the game. My next 2 cards this turn cannot be reversed. That's hilarious. You looking at Jericho?
Yeah, we'll look at Jericho. He seems normal, right? Okay, so let's just run this one and see what happens.
Okay. You want to look through anything?
See the Jericho simulation.
We got to figure out your start. Let me pull up the starting.
I'll get a pretty good idea of kind of what's going on here. You can get I feel like it's surprising for a wrestling. It's not surprising for
What's
a
his
CCG
title?
of this era. Chris Jericho. Just Chris Jericho. What more do you need to know? It's Chris Jericho. Y2J, man.
It's not like Mr. Pay-Per-View,
No.
D-Generation X, no.
How about we can
Jericho,
figure it out?
I got it.
There you go, yeah.
So you want highlight reel, old school wrestling match.
Okay, hold on. Let me get those. Highlight reel old school wrestling match. Is this yours? Or was this is Batista's?
That was yours, yeah.
Okay. Batista. So I'm
Also, does it feel
actually
like beer 30?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually completely amazed. This has the complexity of a CCG from 2000 with like deck building and combos and insane stuff going on, wrapped in the simplicity of a wrestling game.
Yeah, it's
No
crazy.
way. I mean, this is not a high freewheeling thing. This is put a combo synergistic deck together and then totally wreck the metagame. Like, it feels like that kind of a deck.
Yeah.
This is not like a super show where it's like a high flying, quick action kind of thing. This is a deck building game where you can find combos that feel super busted.
I wonder how much of this was around when the game first came out. Like, it almost reminds me of the other CCGs we've played where, like, the first set started out pretty straightforward. Mm-hmm. And then people that played the game the whole time, that you slowly layer it in.
Well, anytime you're willing to print this much text on cards as a rule.
Well, that was just the 90s,
Oof.
2000s.
Man, building the game from the ground up right there. All right, what do I need for Jericho?
Need highlight reel,
Highlight reel.
old school wrestling match.
Okay, old school wrestling match, highlight reel.
Would you please shut the hell up? You sanctimonious son of a...
I got that one, yeah.
And then Mangled Intro by Lillian Garcia, which is hilarious. She
Very
just comes
specific.
and messes it up.
Okay.
So some notes here. Highlight reel, you can play this in any of the 5 pre-match steps. I'd recommend doing it in Manager just before the normal pre-match step begins. So
you
highlight
can
reel.
ban what?
So basically, highlight reel, it says you can play it in any of the steps.
Uh-huh.
So it's the arena, venue, feud, stipulation, manager, all other. So recommendation is you play it during the manager step.
Okay.
Old school wrestling match, make sure you point out that this will blank the next pre-match card played by your opponent.
Okay. I see. So this is a denial deck, actually.
Would you please doesn't have any notes. Mangled says you won't be able to play pre-match cards. So
Right.
You want to play this last, so it won't matter.
And then you get mid-match cards, which I don't even...
Then the note from Mike says Jericho's main strategy is mostly to use discards to get hand advantage. Especially, would you please shut up and happy you're here, happier you're gone, can combine with your character ability to really mess up your opponent's hand while also getting you card advantage. So he discards from hand a lot.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
Break the walls down, apparently big. Try to use Listen Up Junior early to get access to almost your entire Backlash deck.
And that's the mid-match thing? So how do you get the Backlash deck?
Yeah, how do you get access to Backlash? That's something I'm confused on because I thought you just had access to it. It says Jericho has a lot of triggered effects that happen when you play a unique card, including his World Tour Backstage card. So try to remember those effects. This can get you quite a bit of recursion and draw.
How does Undertaker play? What's the notes on Undertaker? What's his like shtick? Does he just do damage? Is he like straight up?
It says he's the Undertaker. You pull stuff out of your ringside pile.
Okay, cool. All right, so I'll go with Jericho. So the mechanics of wrestling across the board from what we've seen between this and a couple other games that we played, our discard pile is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like the discard pile is a really big thing in the game, and then it's about discarding the deck to win. That seems to be like a common theme in all of these.
They're basically using decks as the resource, the like life value.
Okay, so long story short, you want to do this pre-match stuff again?
Yes. So you actually have the ability to blank one of my pre-matches, which is crazy.
But it'll be the next one that you play, so you can kind of decide. I mean, the pre-match. Can we skip the pre-match for this one?
Sure, if you want.
Because that Hulk thing just seems ridiculous. Let's just play an old-fashioned match. See what happens. So you can. So
What up, Aaron?
Jericho can have 3 copies of this backstage thing, and then once during each turn, if you successfully play a unique card, you may put 1 card from your ring side on the bottom. So you keep the healing going, and then once during each of your turns, you may discard a card, and then your opponent discards a card. Okay, cool.
I'm gonna grab some drinks real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
If you want, feel free to read through some of your Jericho.
Yeah, I'm gonna shuffle up here, and then take a look at what I might be wanting to do. So this is gonna be. I mean, could be super annoying if there's a lot of discarding in this deck. Discard a card, then your opponent discard a card. So I'm going to guess, if I'm not fooling, that I'm going to have a lot of cards that I can play from my discard pile. Because it seems like Jericho, I'm going to discard cards out of my hand. It's going to force Zach to discard cards, and then I'm going to have some advantage by playing those cards out of my discard or using this, putting them back into my deck to keep cycling through. That makes sense. Cheers Million, not the 80s. This is 2000, if you can believe it. 2000, when all of the CCGs and TCGs were everywhere and everything was popping, and then everything went out of business. Mid-2000s, when that happened. Maybe a little bit later. I can't quite remember. There used to be a CCG, TCG for absolutely everything in the world. Everybody trying to coattail off of Magic's success. And a lot of them succeeded, I mean, for a time. Man, they were everywhere. Thanks. Ooh, a double pour. It's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin technique there. You want me to crack them together and chug them? It's a hearty pour there, Zach. It is a two-beer kind of game, I feel like.
I have more thoughts once I get back. I'll be right back.
Woo. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Am I right? Before there was a backlash deck, Jericho used cards that made his opponents discard, coupled with his ability to give him card advantage. Yeah, that makes sense, Martin. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. And I like that. I like the idea of no cards. We'll play a smaller game. That's the kind of game I'm looking for. So hand size is 7, and then we'll take a look at some cards. Okay. Here. Okay, you guys can see that on the little deck there. Whoop. Whoop. It's pleasing. It's pleasing to the ears. Okay, so let's look at. Here's looks like a. Ooh, that's really nice. I love this card. So let's look at. There are two things you can do: nothing and like it. Got Booker T there. I believe that's Booker T on the card. I don't know if it's gonna be on the one that you guys can see, but there are two things you can do: nothing and like it. Reverse any action card and end your opponent's turn. He draws up the number of cards where it's equal to the reversed action card's printed fortitude. Well, that's good. Seems like. For a 0 for a 5 fortitude card, okay. Oh, I've got a heal card in here.
He's a heal.
Manager interferes. Reverse any maneuver and draw your opponent's and end your opponent's turn. Draw 1 card. Jim Ross. Why is he at ringside? He's up to no good. Is that Rick on there? Is that Flair? Grabbing his heel?
Oh yeah. The nature boy. Woo!
Woo! All right, I drew up to 7. You draw up to 9, yeah?
One thing
and then Super Sub value is 3. You're a 7? Wow.
he's the icon, dude.
That 7's as big as it gets, huh?
One thing I would say is that I feel like this game would heavily reward like playing the same deck a lot.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
like even when I started playing Hulk multiple times and the setup cards, I'm not getting lost in it anymore. It reminds me of Star Wars CCG in that way.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, so all these old CCGs, we've seen it. I mean, if you play the same mechanical deck over and over, you're going to learn it, right? So the problem, like the failing with these kinds of games, is if your opponent doesn't know that deck, they have no idea what's going on. And so they're going to get rolled the first time. But that's what the CCGs, these early ones, particularly wanted to happen, is like you discovered something really busted, you brought it to a tournament, nobody had any idea how it worked, and you walked away with the prize, right? And then they're like, oh gosh, now we got to get ready for this weird Chris Jericho backbreaker
And
Super Smash deck.
The meta, and it's as a wrestling game, this would be incredible, which is when the meta develops and it's like, oh, Zach's playing the Hogan deck. He's been playing it for weeks.
He's been tweaking it for months.
And it's like, do I tweak for Zach's Hogan deck or Steven's Jericho deck? Because it's like, just like you would expect on like a Monday Night Raw or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I know the wrestlers that are going to be there, who I'm going to try to beat. And it's like, it's just, I think if a wrestling game was done well and was current, I think it would be very easy for me to fall.
I mean, Super Show is that, is it not?
That's true.
Well, then you better start falling.
All right, here we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
I draw a card. Start of my turn. First thing I'm gonna do is the shoot Russian leg sweep. When successful, I overturn 2 cards, but it does 6 damage.
Okay. Well, you know what? I feel like I don't want you to get started. That's a big 6 fortitude card for you.
I think you gotta slow down the heat as soon as you can.
How about an elbow to the face? Reverse any maneuver of 7 damage or less and end your opponent's turn.
Come on.
Then take 2 damage.
I do or you do?
You do.
All right, first one. Second one.
Can't reverse or, ooh, I got rid of your Scotty's worm.
The return bash.
That's good. All right, so I'm going to start out, and this is going to be a common thing for Jericho. Once during each of my turns, I can discard a card, and then your opponent discards a card. Okay, so let's do... I'm going to discard... I like all these things. Woo! These are all good cards. I'm going to discard a Roll Out of the Ring.
And I have to discard a card?
You've got to discard a card, yeah?
I'm discarding Shane O'Mac delivers the bash.
Okay. So then I draw a card. I guess I should have done that anyway. Okay. I need to get some... You know, you get into interesting situations where there's not a lot that you can play.
Yep. I had to pass a couple times earlier.
Like the number of fortitude on my cards here. Okay, let's do a multi-strike. Kick. 0 fortitude, 3 damage. Cannot be played by female superstars because they don't kick.
In my day, a maneuver was a maneuver. Can only be packed by me. As a reversal, completely reverse any hybrid maneuver or multi-maneuver and end your opponent's turn.
Done.
I played a reversal, so I have to discard a card. Let's go. Here. All right, draw a card. First thing I'm going to do is play Let's Wrestle already. It's an action. As an action, I can shuffle it into my deck and draw a card.
Just an action.
Yep.
That's it? It allows you to just get a card?
I'm just trying to find a maneuver.
All right.
I need that signature
yeah, I need some too.
Overhand punch, you know. Let's draw a card. All right, that's fine. Let's see. Do I have anything I can play? I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same place here,
So
man.
you draw and we roll.
All right, draw. Ooh, just what I needed. How about a side headlock submission? Can only be reversed from hand. 2 damage, submission, side headlock.
Submission?
Yep.
A revolution of the mind. Reverse any strike, grapple, etc. End your turn. I draw a card, then I have to discard one because I'm Hulk. Me.
And then I take
Amo
1 damage.
Armando.
It's going to be a manager interferes.
We're getting there. Draw a card at the start of my turn.
Yeah, not having the heat stuff is way helpful.
Yeah, I feel like you were managing a lot there for your beginning.
The heat.
All right, don't try this at home. As an action, search my arsenal for the card titled From the Top Rope. Reveal it to my opponent and put it in my hand.
From the top rope is going to get revealed, huh?
Mike's saying apparently the backlash cards and all the mid-match stuff is really good about smoothing out the rounds and making sure you have early maneuvers and cancels, and then you don't have it. Basically, use that when you don't have the dead turns or when you would have a dead turn. I don't know what From the Top Rope does. It just sounds fun. It may not even be in here. That would be funny.
Yeah, so Martin, you're right. You could get these 2 back. The problem at the beginning of that turn was I didn't have any in there.
I don't think From the Top Rope's in. Yeah, Mike says you don't have that card in your deck.
So that's just a reversal then, basically.
Yeah.
You can just pick it back up if you want.
All right. I'll pass.
All right, I'll draw this card. Have a kick. Double strike, 3 damage. Cannot be packed by female superstars. Too classy to kick, I guess. It's going to hit. Double strike. It's a throwback. Kick throwback.
We got it.
If that matters.
It's a double strike. And it's for how much damage?
3 damage.
1, 2, 3. There goes the leg drop. Ah!
Then I'll... all right, building some fortitude now. Now we're getting somewhere. I don't know. All these cards are good. But they're not good now. You know? I need these unique cards. Where are my unique cards? I'm going to discard a card and make you discard a card.
All right.
Discarding diversion,
I'm discarding
which
a
I
bash.
like, which is a bummer.
A bash kick.
Okay, go for it.
Start my turn.
Oh, wait,
Draw.
I get to go again, but I pass.
All right. Pass.
Woo! Keep them coming.
We're just doing that thing where they walk around the ring and they're like touching hands, you know?
Walking around the ring. I'll pass as well.
All right. Start my turn. I'll draw a card. I'll pass.
Coming at you. Oof. This is hilarious. Minus ray, and when you successfully. Why would this exist? Your unique cards. Oh, I see. I'm just gonna play it. My obscenely expensive Geratron 5000. It is a foreign object, a giant television, as you might expect. When this card is in my ring area, my unique cards cost less fortitude, which is equal to my superstar. So all of my cards are 3 less fortitude if they're unique.
And this is an action.
It's an action.
You're good.
All right, so then we'll do. I don't know if it triggers on itself. When you successfully play a unique card, you may draw a card. I'm going to guess it doesn't because it's not technically in my ringside area yet. But it does say, if I successfully play a unique card, you may put 1 card from my ringside pile at the bottom of my arsenal. So I can trigger that twice with Jericho. That's Jericho's Backstage Area World Tour 05. You can have up to 3 of those in your deck. I guess I don't know why you wouldn't. But here we are. Okay, so let's go. Let's put this back in, and let's put this back in. And they go to the bottom. Boom. Over to you.
What up, Echo? Draw a card. Let's wrestle already.
Oh, it does draw me a card, okay.
I'm gonna let's wrestle already.
What does it do?
Back in, draw a card.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just digging. Need that
Let's
heat.
wrestle already.
I need that heat. I see why the side backlash cards are necessary.
Yeah.
I mean,
Maybe not necessary, yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, draw a card. Let's give you a kick. Double strike.
What's it? Does it do anything?
3 damage. Throwback kick, in fact.
You got it. 3 damage. Here we go. 1.
Any double strike reversals?
Nope. 2. 3.
That's right. Let's keep the train going, Chris. How many cards you got in your hand?
9.
It's denial strategy. I have less cards than you, so I need.
What up, Morgan?
These more than you do. All right. So what you're saying is.
I love this. Echo says, I just checked my mail and I have a package from Team Covenant. I didn't order anything, so I'm guessing my wife got me a birthday present.
Very nice.
Happy birthday, Echo, whenever that is. John Tucker saying, I'm in love with the idea of this game.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, a lot of actually the games from this era, I have that exact same sentiment.
Yeah.
I love the idea here. Okay, let's see. 6, 7, 8. I could go to 10, and then we could do those things. Okay. Okay. That's hilarious. Okay. Let's go for a stranglehold. It's just 1 damage.
Does it do anything else?
Nope, it's a submission. Chain.
You're good.
Stranglehold throwback. Take 1.
As a reversal, whenever turn, reverse any submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn.
All right, it's a submission maneuver. It's ended.
Reverse it, end of turn. All right, I draw.
You got to discard a card, yeah? Hawk's ability?
Oh, yeah.
No, wait, is it just from hand, or is it anytime? Is it you play? Probably
when
play.
you play. Yeah. Okay. You ready? Hogan's patented overhand punch. It's a double strike.
No. You turned off my... I had an opportunity. I couldn't get to 10, though, could I? Okay, and you're saying that's just a big ol'... Nope.
5 damage. Take it and like it.
Reversal submission. Reversal, no.
You had me in the stranglehold, and I spun out
1.
and gave you the punch.
2. Action cards. 3, 4. Reverse any grapple. Nope. 5. Iron Will. When overturned, reverse any submission. You got me.
All right, then we're going to do a bash headlock. It's a double submission for 6. When successful, your opponent discards a card. I guess I'll do this when it's not fully
It's
resolved yet.
successful.
6 damage.
All right, so I discard a card probably now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll discard a... we'll discard 2 things you can do, unfortunately. So 5 or 6 damage coming in. 1.
Iron Will.
Reverse a submission. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Any maneuver of 7 damage or less. So I hit both. Iron Will and elbow to the face.
You got it.
And your opponent's turn.
Nice. Got out of the headlock.
All right, draw a card for my turn.
Mike says chain, you have to discard cards, 2 cards from hand to reverse it from hand or backlash.
So you have to discard 2 to reverse it? Is that the idea?
What's the chain?
It just says chain up here.
Oh.
Special keyword?
I can do that.
Sure. You've got a billion cards. I'm supposed to be controlling your hand, but I don't know how you have a billion cards.
It just happened.
Because you're not playing any.
All right, there's 2.
All right. How about another stranglehold? You want to reverse that one? 2 cards and a submission?
Nope, we're good. How much damage?
1.
Boom. Keep going.
All right. Currently at 10. Okay. And I'll pass.
Draw a card. I've now got 12 threshold. Let's do it. I'm going to play a shoot forearm. It's -6. We're good. Cannot be reversed by a card title or Revolution of the Mind.
Right on.
When successfully played,
answer.
Look at the top 3 cards of your opponent's arsenal, put 1 into his ringside pile, and put the rest in the bottom of his arsenal.
All right, we're going to have our manager interfere there. Reverse any maneuver and end your opponent's turn, then draw a card.
Get out of here.
Strategically playing to that 10 fortitude. Take 1 damage, sir.
Whoosh. Took him.
And is that a unique card? No, it is not. Draw a card for that. Draw a card at the start of the... Oh, looky here. It just happened to be at 11 fortitude. Boom. I'm the king of the world. An action card. Cannot be reversed if I have Jericho-holics, which I do not. Put up to 1 maneuver, 1 action, 1 reversal from your ring area into your ringside pile.
I cannot have that.
You better reverse an action. Okay, Colette, that's good to know. Thank you.
Let's get back in the ring. Reverse any card that allows your opponent to look at your hand or backlash deck, search your arsenal, or move any number of cards from your ringside pile or ring area.
The perfect answer.
And end his turn. When this card is in your ring area, no player may play a card titled Get Back in the Ring with the words, you win the game via pitfall victory. So then I have to discard a card because that's how this works. Draw a card at the start of my turn. Let's get to punching. Shoot forearm again. It's the same one. It's a strike, 6 fortitude, 9 damage.
Step aside. Let's reverse any strike maneuver and end your turn.
You got it.
Draw a card, though, Hulk.
Now it feels like we're wrestling. I do. When you reverse, I haven't been doing that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll pass.
All right. All right. I draw a card. Ooh, this could be big. Bash Slam. It's a 12 threshold, and it does 18 damage with a stun 2 to grapple.
It would be great. However, I've got an escape move. Reverse a grapple maneuver and end your opponent's turn.
All right, it's got stun 2. You reversed it, so I'll draw 2. And you played 1 because of Hulk's ability, so I'll draw another one.
Woo! Can't control that hand. Okay, draw a card at the start of the turn. Let's go with a Cranial Crunch, a double submission. It's a heal card. When successfully played, I reveal my hand to your opponent, and you choose 1 card to discard. Stun is only on overturn, by the way. It's only when I overturn reverse.
Oh, so I don't draw those cards.
You don't draw the
I'll put them back.
Good to know.
All right, I got nothing.
Take your Cranial Crunch, 4 damage.
1, 2, 3. Non-unique card that does not have the word bash, etc., etc. So that's 1.
Got it.
4. Is it a strike? Nope.
It is not a strike. 4 only.
4. All right, didn't do it.
So we can actually do the old double stack here. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 15. 15 fortitude here.
I'm at 15 too. Look at us.
And I'll pass.
Let's do it. Draw a card. Bash kick. It's a 7 fortitude, 10 damage strike.
Oh, hold on. I need to reveal my hand. You need to discard one of these cards.
This one. It's got a 17 printed on it.
Oof. All right, what are you doing? Kick?
That's the Backbaker torture rack. Oh, yeah, I remember that. Doing a kick. Bash kick. Smells like 10 damage to me.
I'm going to have my manager interfere with that.
Come
Reverse any
on.
maneuver and end your opponent's turn. Draw a card for the Hawk's
How many
ability.
managers do
Take
you
1
have?
damage. I've got him messing with you on the side of the ring. Take 1 damage if you would, please.
Oh, there goes never forgive, never
And I
forget.
Draw a card and then draw a card. Get you some Thunder Bulldog. 12 fortitude. It's a heal grapple.
You got it, man.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
hold on, sorry. The return bash for Scotty's worm.
I hate that card. It's so boring.
We're gonna search for a bash card, and then I have to discard a card because I played a.
It reverses anything, and then you search for a bash card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's get a bash slam out of my deck, and I have to discard a card. I hate that card. All right, my turn.
Your turn.
Let's draw a card. Bash slam. It's a grapple for 18 damage. Wouldn't you know it? Look how low my deck. I like this. You can see the life totals here.
Don't you never, ever reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn. He discards 2 cards, and during my next turn, maneuvers are +2 damage.
One and 2. No. 2. Yeah, 2. We're good.
Okay.
I'm understanding now.
I'll pass to you.
Draw a card. All right. Let's see.
Where are my unique cards? Dang it.
Let's go. Shoot Russian leg sweep. It's a grapple. 6 damage.
Elbow to the face. Reverse any maneuver of 7 damage or less.
This is absurd.
And is that on my reversing
I
strike?
draw a card for that.
During your next turn, your maneuver. So that's not now. Take 2 damage.
You got it.
Draw. All right, let's try for the old backbreaker torture rack. Grapple submission multi-card. Has 3 stun. I think my fortitude's greater than yours, right? 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, it is.
So this is a grapple submission.
Grapple submission multi.
It's hitting.
All right, take 13 damage.
1, 2.
Mi llamo Armando Alejandro Estrada.
3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. Revolution of the mind.
First one that applies.
Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver.
All right, it's both grapple and submission.
6. Wait, 1, 2, 3.
That's 7, I think.
7, 8. Nope. 9. 10.
Get in there.
11.
Come on, Chris.
12. 13. Double revolution of
Oh,
the mind
you
in the
found
turn
it.
with 1 card
That's
left.
actually awful for you. Does that mean you successfully reverse it on the 2? If you flipped it on your last card?
Yeah.
Because that means I draw 3 for the stun, yeah?
It does reverse it.
Woo!
And then I draw. I may draw a card. I'm not going. Oh, I have to at the start of the turn.
I guess
so I draw
so.
at the start of my turn and I lose.
Is that the end?
That's the end.
Just like that.
You rolled me there.
No, Zach had 15 there, Colette. I was making sure because you can only play it if you have more fortitude than your opponent. Wow. Okay.
Let's roll that back.
That was pretty high flying.
Yeah, we were going back and forth a lot. So I think the recognition there, one thing I'm understanding about this game conceptually is like, without particularly the mid-match cards, I feel like I'm basically like only ever playing the card I can play. There's very little choice.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of executing. So
Agreed.
I'm interested in integrating these cards to see if I feel like I'm actually doing something.
Mitchell says you can still play the turn after you draw your last card.
Would not have.
Wouldn't have mattered.
But that would be epic. Can you imagine if I draw my last card?
And then you did it,
And then
you
I do
just
it on
played
that
it
turn?
out.
Yeah.
So was the mid-match, pre-match stuff, guys? Was that added later on, or did the game launch with those kinds of with those effects? I think this is completely wrong at this point. Just don't play any cards that are
I'm gonna play it over
confusing.
here.
Okay, let's look. It was added in set 3, third expansion. So we had 3 sets where you could probably just kind of get hosed.
Trying to get it off the top row.
Yeah. And it was called Backlash, yep.
And when did Revolution come out? Is Revolution the online version?
Nice guy. It's so cool to have a bunch of people. I hope it's cool to see this played again. Well, yeah, I've never played it. Zach, you've never played it. But I know the thing about these old games, like we were obsessed with, Star Wars, TCG, CCG, that kind of family of games. Played a lot of the Lord of the Rings. And seeing those games out again, it brings back some awesome, awesome nostalgia. So I'm glad to have you guys here. Yeah. Luke's saying correct. It was to help balance out the way the game played. Imbalanced. It added the much needed elements. Because I imagine that it could get really derivative if you didn't know what you were doing.
Okay, apparently Revolution was the 2.0 of the game, really. It was the last 3 sets of the game.
Wait, how was that received? Did it do the job? Did
Jim
it
says it killed
revolutionize
the game for me.
Killed the game for Jim.
What up, Pete?
Separate format, different pool. Yep. Okay. Makes sense.
All right, so we're going to introduce the Backlash cards.
Okay, let's go.
That's what I want. I don't necessarily need this stuff yet.
The pre-match stuff.
The pre-match stuff?
The non-busted stuff. Okay, let's do the mid-match. How do we do that? How do we get these cards to be played?
As soon as the game starts, you can play these cards.
That's
so
it.
It's literally like you start with these 12 cards in your hand, or 10.
My gosh.
That's what I was saying. So like you have these.
Are they public knowledge? Yeah.
I think they're just in your deck. So you have a Backlash deck, which is all of these cards, your pre-match and your mid-match, and your opponent doesn't know what these are.
Yeah.
So when we're doing our pre-match, you have
so
options.
this is your sideboard that's actively in play all the
just
time.
all the time. So it's cards you can
I
count
get
on
it.
being there.
I get it. What's up, Pete? They're not public knowledge. Okay, I see.
Yeah. So that's where
So
like
this is where you build a deck.
I actually really appreciate this stack of cards because it's like
It's like Team Tactics and Crisis
this is
Protocol.
literally your arsenal, right? It's like this is what you're capable of during the match, but like this is
Yeah.
what you bring to the table every time.
And this smooths it out. Well, hold on. Let me
Yeah, let's just work it through. We're
let me
nothing but
read.
time
Let me
here.
read a bit here. Okay. Do we want to just run them down? Just read them out?
We can just
Check
talk
it
them
out.
out.
All right. Happy you're here. Happy you're gone. A throwback card here. It is Chris Jericho and The Rock. What a great match. When this card is in your ring area, so you basically play it for 5 fortitude, and it's an action, so if you can still reverse it like normal, yeah? Whenever your opponent discards a card for your superstar ability, he discards an additional card. So I discard 1, you discard 2, if I can get this out, which is great, because Jericho's ability is discard, discard. Now it's discard, you discard 2. So
That's
I need
really
that
good.
to land.
You definitely need that to land.
I need that to land.
And
This
it's
is like a choke deck, man.
it's a mid-match action. So to stop that, I would have to cancel an action.
Cancel an action.
But
Yeah.
how crazy is that?
Yeah. Don't You Wish You Were Me, another action card here. During your turn, you can discard 3 cards. If your next card played this turn is a maneuver, you can ignore the can only be played after text. And then when this card is in your ringside pile, during your turn, you may discard 3 cards and put the card into your Backlash deck so you can
Basically,
get
you
it
can
back
use
in.
it and then discard 3 to put it back in. And what did it do again? Just layman's terms?
During your turn, you may discard 3 cards and you ignore that can only be played after text.
So you
of
can
a
discard
maneuver.
3, and then you can use a maneuver that can only be like
Yeah.
a condition.
Now, how does this end up in my ringside pile.
So when you use it from your backlash deck, it gets discarded.
It does. So this does too, because this is when this is in your ring area.
So I assume...
So do actions not go to your ring area? Maybe they do, maybe they
No,
don't.
it is. You play it to your ring area. It says when this card is in your ring area during your... So it goes from your backlash to your ring. When it's in your ring area, you can discard 3 cards to ignore it. And then when this is in your ringside pile, you can discard it. So if I get rid of it...
You get rid of it, you can get it back
Yeah,
in here.
or like
so
if I cancel it...
These are just Jericho-specific cards,
Yep.
is the idea here. They all have Jericho on them. Listen up, Junior. Don't be a fun clown. Min-max action. It's like Marge Simpson on that. It's not fun. When this card is in your ring area, the maximum number of min-match cards you have in your ring area is increased by 3. So apparently, there must be a limit to min-match cards you can have in your ring area. Friends, tell us, how big is your 5? You can only have 5 min-match cards in play. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. So this makes it where it's 8.
Yeah, makes it where it's 8. Okay.
What up, Jay? Welcome back.
So those are my 3 actions, and then I've got some strikes.
You have strikes in there?
Yeah, I've got 3 strikes
That's
in there.
so good.
Yeah, I've got the Dirty Low Blow from the Survivor 3 series. It's a heel strike, and it is indeed a low blow. Nice art there. Can only be played when your Fortitude rating is less than your opponent's, and it can't be reversed from your hand. So just a sweet 2 damage, boom. Another Dirty Low Blow, and an Atomic Bear Hug, 3 Fortitude, 7 damage. Can only be played after successfully played grapple or submission maneuver, so if you have the Don't You Wish You Were Me, you can ignore that. Cannot be reversed from your opponent's backlash deck, because I've got 4 reversals in the backlash deck, right? Okay, and the reversals are Yours Graceful as a Cow on Ice, which we've seen from you as well. Can only be played when you have fewer cards in your hand. Reverse any card if it's not the first or second card played this turn and end your opponent's turn, so your third or greater card.
Beyond.
It's an immediate reverse any card, right?
Yeah.
Backlash can only be played when my Fortitude rating is less than yours. So these are catch-up cards, basically.
Which is cool, right?
Reverse basically anything if it's not the first maneuver played this turn. Okay?
Well, and think about this from a wrestling perspective.
Yeah, you always have a...
You get ahead, so I
Yeah.
get reversals.
Yeah.
Then I get ahead, and you
then
still
I
have your
get it.
reversals left.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
Then we've got Superior Acrobatics, a mid-match reversal. It can reverse strikes, grapples, high risks. And then on your next turn, after you draw, search your arsenal for any one maneuver, show it to your opponent, put it in your hand. Okay, yeah, so these are all just catch-up mechanics.
Yep. So I had the You're as Graceful as a Cow on Ice and the Backlash, but then I have a couple other cards. Did you get through all your shit?
I got one left.
All right, go ahead.
The King Interferes. It's a run-in special. Reverse. Look, who is the King
10
in that?
threshold.
Do you know who that is? Is it literally the King? Was that a wrestler?
I don't know, but that
That looks like a
is
classic
killing it.
wrestler to me. Who is the King in this card? Who's that referring to?
You want to go big on this? I'll go. Which view?
It should be popped up right now.
I just want to make sure it's the same art.
Oh, right on. Yeah, yeah. The King Interferes. It should be if the fans are redoing it. Although it looks like it's
Jerry
Boa.
Lawler.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler. Yeah, that's correct. Man, he's old school. My
Yeah.
gosh. Reverse any foreign object or any 10 damage or greater maneuver and end your opponent's turn. So this is basically my, oh no, they just hit me with something giant.
It's your oh no no.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So I have the You're as Graceful as a Cow on Ice and the Backlash. I also have Took That on the Chin. Can only be played after I successfully played 8 damage or greater maneuver. If the maneuver is reversed from my arsenal, put this card into my Backlash deck. If it's not reversed from my arsenal, I can discard the mid-match, or one mid-match card if I do, end your turn. So basically, if it doesn't get reversed from my deck, I can play this. Or I can discard. How does that work?
Can only
It's
be
a reversal,
played-
so I would play it, and then I would have to discard another card from my mid-match, or a mid-match card, right? And then I can end your turn. So even though if I don't reverse it from my deck, I can play this, discard a card from my mid-match deck, and then end your turn. And then this would also go to the discard pile.
Okay.
So it costs me this plus another card,
I believe it.
just to end your turn after a maneuver. I also have Shoot Counter. Can only be played when you have a card in your ring with the word shoot in the title. I had a handful of those. Reverse any card that moves any number of cards from my ringside pile, or any card that allows your opponent to draw any cards, or any non-unique hybrid card, end your turn.
Okay, so non-unique hybrids is the main one there.
Then I have Fortitude Surge. Can only be played if an effect your opponent controls is modifying your reversal cards. That's not going to happen. I have 3 cards of Trevor Murdoch is going to bash your brains in. Search your arsenal for a maneuver with bash in the title. Reveal it to your opponent. Put it into your hand and shuffle your arsenal. So I can literally it's 2 damage, 0 fortitude. Search for a bash card.
Right on.
So I
okay,
can
that's
just
your
go
strikes.
chain it
That's
out,
your
yeah.
basically your strikes. Yeah.
Then I have Good Night Everybody. It's a 70 fortitude card. I win.
Yeah.
I can play it. And then I have When Hulk Mania runs wild on you. Look at your opponent's hand, choose a card, and he removes all cards with that title in his hand from the game.
Very cool.
Your next 2 cards played this turn cannot be reversed.
Wow, there you go.
Hulk Mania is going to run wild, brother.
So he could go into...
Yeah.
He could go. All right, here we go. 7
All
cards.
Right, I draw 9.
All right, so the real question is...
You ready?
As a card playing person...
That's us. I'm going to go.
Yeah, hold on. I'm just going to keep these... I'm going to keep these in...
Thanks for the kind word, Ronald. Michael's like, the shirt tear.
All right, don't look at these.
What up, Jay? We're playing. We were just working. Stevens, we're adding, in this game, you have your normal deck, your arsenal. You also have your backlash deck, which is like cards you can just automatically have in your hand and play. And so we were just reading through those to understand them before we added that mechanic to the game.
Cool. Oh my gosh, they're hilarious. All right, go for it, Zach. Bring it on. What do you got?
I love this start. I wish I could have more than one in my deck. I'm going to play Hogan's Patented Overhand Punch. It's a double strike for 5.
You got to stop that, right?
If you got him.
Stop him if you got him. It's a double strike. Yikes.
You got it.
Okay, so I can't play Backlash, and I can't play You're as Graceful as a Cow on Ice because my Fortitude is not lower than yours. It's not successfully played yet.
I like what you're doing over there.
Yeah, I think that's an easy way to do it. I don't have any other reversals here. So it's going to hit, man. Ready for 5?
Give me 5.
1, 2. That's 1 strike.
Step aside.
3.
Iron Will.
As a reversal, reverse any submission. No. 4, 5.
All right, it hits, and I keep going.
Keep rolling.
Let's do the Bash Suplex. It's a double grapple. 7 damage,
What
multi.
are these doubles about?
Hulk came in ready to fight.
Mm-hmm. A double grapple, you say?
Double grapple, the Bash Suplex.
Nothing.
Give me 7.
1.
Iron Will.
That's a submission. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Got him. All right, I'm still rolling. Let's get a Bash Kick. It's a strike.
Yep. Bash kick. Nothing.
10 damage. You
Wait, hold on a
can
second.
stop
I
it.
can
You
do
can
that.
stop it.
I can do that with one of my sweet
Someone
cards.
says backlash it. The main.
Yeah, that's it. So if it's not the first maneuver, backlash. Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver if it's not the first one played this turn, which is not an end your turn.
All right, and it's a single, so you can cancel it.
Yeah.
So that's even a really good example of like, you can see how this could get out of hand on turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I just build up my Fortitude really quickly, and that just prevents that from happening.
And you draw a card when I reverse you, yeah?
You got it.
Or, yeah, that's right. All right, draw a card for my turn.
Backlash, then cow. Oh, what's the cow card say?
It says, can only be played when you have fewer cards in your hand or less fortitude. Reverse any card if it is not the first or second card played this turn.
Got you. Yeah,
I
so
guess
you
that's
have,
better.
You have another one.
Why don't we do that instead of backlash?
Oh, and it gets played, dude. Those have damage on them.
Oh, right. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Then you didn't flip it anyway, because it was the third card, so I may as well use the one that's more conditional. Don't you see?
Yeah. Now, the upside of backlash is that you would have 3 Fortitude.
I see. Okay, let me see if that would matter. Nah. That's good. I'll play it. Okay. How about some of this? How many cards you got?
6.
I see how this works.
I am a real man. I feel like we're actually playing
Let's
now.
try to chokehold. 0 fortitude, 6 damage. Submission.
Just a
throwback.
Single submission.
Single submission.
A Revolution of the Mind.
Classic.
Reverse it. I can draw a card,
It goes into play. 1 damage.
and then I have to discard a card. Oh yeah, 1 damage, sorry.
Bing.
I am a real American. All right, then I draw a card at the start of my turn. All right. Let's do this. Let's go Hollywood's Big Boot. Strike. 10 damage. When successfully played, I can play a Backlash deck card from my ringside pile. I need to do that not right now. Actually, let's back that up.
Oh, so if you had a backlash.
So I want to use Backlashes before I do. Oh, you know what? Actually, let's use some of these. Why not?
Oh, yeah. Well, because I need Fortitude. I guess
I'm
that's
gonna
why
play.
I use that card. Huh?
Yeah, I'm gonna play. Trevor Murdoch is gonna bash your brains in. Search your. It would be 2 damage if it's an action. If it triggers, and I can search my deck for a bash card.
It's going to hit.
All right, 2 damage. You got that 2 damage for me?
Mm-hmm. Getting pounded.
Gonna get a bash headlock. And then we're gonna play a bash headlock. It's a double submission, 6 damage. When successful, your opponent discards a card.
Double submission.
And that's my second card, if that matters.
Let's do Stranglehold, Stranglehold. A double submission reversal.
You got it. Do I draw 1 or 2 with Hulk's ability?
What does it say?
When your opponent plays a reversal card, you may draw a card.
2.
Give me that money in the bank, though.
All right, draw. Oh, I've gotten myself into a bit of a problem. Let's play this Dirty Low Blow. Cannot be reversed from your opponent's hand.
Well, that seems easy enough. I can't do anything.
That's right, you can't.
What do we got? All right,
Take
you give
2
me
damage.
Give me a crotch shot, eh?
Yep.
Get back in the ring. Reverse any card that allows your opponent to look at your hand. Nope. Bash evade or reverse any card that moves anything from my ring. We're good. 2.
I see. I see.
Chris saying, personally, I'd love to see Wars TCG. Got it. It does play
Yeah.
very similar. We have Wars. We might end up checking that out, but it plays very similar to Star Wars CCG. Put the Strangleholds back in play.
Strangleholds.
Oh,
Back
because you
in-
canceled.
Oh, right on. Yep.
And it should be 2 damage, right?
2 damage, yeah. Boop, 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 boop. It's very strange that they printed the damage in the wrong corner of these cards.
I think it's so you have
Guess
them
it's
turned differently.
It's supposed to do like
Because
this.
you can only have 5 of those in play.
Okay. There we go. We'll do it like that.
And the order of these doesn't really matter.
All right, so now I'm at 4 Fortitude,
Maybe they just
huh?
wanted you to do this, like to have its own little separate stack.
How many cards you got over there? Bunch.
Yeah, I've been drawing a lot. Goodness, some of this, I have the original WWF icon throwback version. It's just Hulk looking awesome.
Let's do another Dirty Low Blow.
All right, 2 damage.
2 damage.
Reverse any non-unique card that does not have the word bash, blindside, dynamic, precision, or shoot in the title. End your turn.
It's reversed.
It still goes into play. It's from my deck.
Oh, right
You
on.
successfully
Yeah.
play it.
So it really didn't matter, did
It
it?
just ends your turn. Draw a card. All right, let's get some heat
That's
going.
a bummer.
Let's go. Bash Slam. It's a grapple, technically. 12 Fortitude. Could be 18 damage coming at you.
Grapple, huh? I don't have anything for that, man.
All right, 18. If it cancels from the top of your deck, we're going to get a stun 2. 3.
Grapple.
What's the card?
Can only be played after successfully played maneuver. No, that doesn't count.
4.
4, 5,
5,
6, 7, 8. Reverse any action card. 9.
Elbow to the
Any
face.
maneuver. Nope. 10, 11. Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission.
You got it.
And end your opponent's turn.
Don't you never.
He discards 2 cards, and I get +2 damage.
I discard 2?
You discard 2.
1. 2. Go ahead.
And then something happens when I discard from the deck. Is that right? For something? If that mattered?
What was it?
You said if I discard from the top of my deck and reverse it, something's going to happen.
Oh, it's done 2. So
Right
I
on.
draw 2.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks for catching that.
Yeah. All right. All right, I get it.
Wow. That card seems good.
Okay. Let's just try some things. Okay. All right. All right. Interesting. Okay, how about this? I'm going to try to spit at my opponent. It's an action. I discard a card, you discard 4.
Let's play original WWF icon, reverse any action card, and end your opponent's turn.
Done.
Put 1 card from your ringside in pile into your hand or search your arsenal for a card. Put it into your hand. So I'm going to search my arsenal and get a card.
And then you discard 1 for reversing, yeah?
Let's get the Hollywood leg drop.
Cool, this is good to know. Text on reversals only triggers if you play them, not if you overturn them. So basically the one that said if you successfully reverse it, you discard 2 cards, that wouldn't have happened. Because it was overturned, it only triggers text on the card if I play it.
Does the cancel still happen when you flip it though, right?
Cancel still happens, but anything that would be triggered from the text is basically dead when it's overturned.
Okay.
It's just looking for, is this a grapple reversal or not?
All right, let's go for it. We're going to play Hollywood's Big Boot. It's a strike. It's a throwback version. 5 fortitude, 10 damage. When successfully played, I can put a Backlash deck card from my ringside pile into my Backlash deck. Or I may put the card title I'm a Real American from my ringside pile into my ring.
That's your first card this turn?
Yeah.
All right, got nothing. 10? 1,
Yeah.
2, elbow to the face, 7D, nope. 3, nope. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Grapple, 9. Overshot your mark, doesn't. Reversing strike of 5D or greater. Okay, and end your opponent's turn.
Devil! Oh, Steven, it would have been beautiful.
Turn ended. Okay. How many cards you got over there?
7.
Let's do a little Y2J.
Xanatrix says, Hogan isn't selling a thing. How fitting.
Y2J.
What's that do?
Action. Draw 5, you discard 5. Or your opponent discards 5.
Do I get a pick?
I will pick. If it lands. Jericho on the ropes, you hate to see it. From Xanatrix, don't you know it? Don't you know it?
I gotta stop it. I'm gonna play Cowboy Bob Orton Interferes. 15 fortitude says can only be whatever. Reverse any non-unique card and end your opponent's turn. Is that unique? It's unique. I can't do it. Oh gosh, no. Wait, do I have something? What card is this?
It's an action card. Can't do it. Y2J is too strong. Y2J, a charismatic showman who says the floundering WWE and 2 new heroes for every WWE fan. Let's go, Chris Jericho. Y2J.
I can't allow this.
It's allowed. It's happening.
I don't think I can do anything.
You're over there at like 30,000 fortitude.
All
I'm
right,
at
go ahead.
6. Discard 5 cards, Zach.
I get a pick or you get a pick?
I get to pick. Discard 5. All of them? No, you get to pick the cards, but I pick
Oh.
the effect.
That's what I was saying. All right, I got it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, down to 2.
All right, unique card has hit, so I can put 2 cards back into my deck. What are they going to be? Probably some reversals.
What's World Tour do? Is that what gives you plus? Oh, you can put a card from your ringside pile on the bottom of your arsenal. Once a turn if you play a unique card.
That's what I'm doing right now.
Hmm.
Okay, how about
He's going on a little tour.
some of this? We'll put a couple of these in. They look like they're important. At the bottom? Okay. Done. Second, let's do... You got 2 cards?
Mm-hmm.
Let's play Happy You're Here, Happy You're Gone for my backlash deck. While it's in my ring area, if I trigger my ability, you discard an additional card. It's a unique action.
So when it's in your ring area,
When I trigger this ability, I discard 1, you discard 2. Usually it's 1 for 1.
this is your second card this turn.
Second card.
I got nothing.
All right, it comes in. Ba-choom. Trigger Jericho's ability. Discard 1, you discard 2.
No, there goes my leg drop.
Discard 1 there. Then let's do Keebler Instincts. Cannot be reversed when played by Chris Jericho. Draw 3 cards in your turn. You cannot play maneuvers on your next turn.
Yikes. I draw.
I need to put 2 back under here. Okay. Let's go.
The big K says my last turn shouldn't have ended. I'm curious why that's the case.
Shouldn't have ended? The card said it.
Oh.
Hmm.
I still don't understand.
Yeah, the card literally said to end my turn. So I did.
Now you say my last turn shouldn't have ended. I'm trying to figure that out.
Oh, like after the counter or something? Maybe it doesn't say to end your turn afterwards.
Well, Mediocre says they need to keep up with no text on overturns.
No text on there. So I guess it doesn't end your turn, it just cancels the damage?
So does the reverse still happen from top of deck? That's what I thought happened. But then everything else is blank?
So you just block damage from top of deck. You don't ever end your opponent's turn from top of deck. Oh, wow. That makes the game insanely... That could go wild then. You could just keep getting beat on.
So when you flip a block, it doesn't stop anything?
It just would stop the extra damage past that block.
But then nothing else triggers?
But then you keep going. So then you just unload.
So from top of deck doesn't stop a turn?
Yeah. Yeah. Because most of them say you end your opponent's turn after it's reversed from that card.
So Mitchell, this is correct. Reversing a card from anywhere ends the turn.
Yeah. Okay.
But the thing is, anything else the card says, so like a reversal stops it, and because you stop a maneuver, it just ends the turn.
Yeah, everybody's saying different things. Classic old CCGs. Jeremy Pett just received my Mythos board and tokens. They look fantastic. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Jeremy. I'm glad that they look great. Reversal overturned ends turn if it is the appropriate number of reversals and matches the requirements. Turn ends on overturned reversals. Yeah, so different understanding of the rules. Were you playing in Chicago or were you playing in New York, you know?
But if it stops it, it still doesn't do the rest of the text is the point.
But it doesn't end it does end the turn.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to play a Trevor Murdoch who's going to bash your brains in. Search my deck for a maneuver with bash in the title, reveal it, and put it in my hand.
Well, you got 2 cards.
I have one
Oh,
card.
that's just
I
the
drew
one
a card.
card. You got it. Wait, is that an action? Maybe I can stop it. No.
Does 2 damage.
You got it. Woo! You love to see it.
I got a headlock, bash headlock. And then I'll pass.
Okay.
Because I can't play...
Well then. How about some of this? Let's try to play the Great Power Brawl. Actually, hold on. First, let's discard a card so you can't do anything. I'm going to discard 1, you discard 2.
I see how you do that now. That makes sense now.
Yeah, Great Power Brawl, 4 Fortitude, active action throwback card. I draw a card. While it's in my ring area, my submissions are +1 die, my strikes are +2, my grapples are +3.
You got it.
All right. Plus to everything. Well, then we'll do an Atomic Bear Hug. A submission. Chain. So you got to discard 2 cards to stop it.
Can't do it.
Can only be played after a successfully played grappler submission. That's not going to work. Hold on. Stop, because I didn't do that. I didn't follow the rules. Okay, interesting. Oh, I see how this works. Okay. Oh, no, that's amazing.
What is it?
Okay, I just how all this works. So you're building like a real deck here, but I can't discard 3 to do that. So I need more cards. Oh, I need to draw for my turn. I think
But didn't you discard to make me discard?
Yeah, but I've been forgetting drawing for like the past 5 turns.
Yeah, that's a problem. Apparently Great Powerball also draws you a card.
Great Powerball?
That you drew it off that. Great Power Brawl. I think you did.
I think I did. I'll guess I'll pass.
I draw.
Hope it's a good one.
It is. I'm going to play, in my day, a maneuver was a maneuver. It's an action.
Search your deck.
I can choose up to 3 non-hybrid, non-multi maneuver cards in my ringside pile. I'm going to randomly shuffle 1 into my deck and keep the other 2.
Okay. Good luck. In the real world, you'd know exactly what you're looking for here.
I'm grabbing Bash, Drop Over the Ropes, Bash Slam, and Bash Kick. All do a lot of damage. I'm going to shuffle them up randomly and let you pick one, and I'm going to shuffle it in my deck.
Shovel that one in.
And then I keep the other 2.
All right. Better use them.
I am a real American.
That was an action card you just played?
Yep.
Okay.
Then I'm going to play a Bash, Drop Over the Ropes. It's a grapple. 20 damage.
My manager's interfering, Zach.
Son of a biscuit.
First any maneuver, draw a card. Go ahead and take 1 damage for me if you would.
I draw a card because of what you just did.
That's right. And then I'll draw to start my turn. Okay, and I'm at 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ugh. Okay, let's try to play a Don't You Wish You Were Me. While it's in my ring area, I can discard 3 to ignore that can only be played after text. It is an action, mid-match action. You are a real American.
I'm good.
Okay. Well, so this is my 5th Backlash deck card, so it's going to stay in there.
So now you can't play Backlash cards.
I can't play Backlash cards. That is correct. How many cards you got? 2 cards? Ah, what are the odds? What are the odds? All right. Can I discard a Backlash card to play a new one? Or am I stuck? That's what I need to know.
I feel like you're starting to understand how that's working over there.
Yeah. Yeah. this backlash deck is basically just a sideboard that allows you to, okay, you can't. Okay, so you're stuck. All right, so let's get that out of there. Can't play any of these cards. I see how that works now.
Sola says you stuck.
You stuck. Okay, it's just my hand. And I'm currently at 4, 5, 6, 7 fortitude after all of this.
Hey,
You know-
Javier, I appreciate you being here.
Anything weird over there that I need to know about? You can reverse things as long as but it's got to be my first one, right? Or not my
No,
first
it's got to
one.
be not your first one specifically.
Okay. All right, dude. I'm going to discard 3 cards to remove the can only be played after text here. Diversion, torture rack, and I'll hold the phone.
It's good, dude.
It's good.
We hit
Take 12 damage,
from the top rope. This is a high risk maneuver.
and you discard 1 card when it's successfully played.
Well, I do that first, actually, they were saying.
Okay.
So I'm going to discard here. Then we're going to go 1, 2, 3,
High risk.
4,
High risk.
5. Oh, here it is. Reverse any strike maneuver or 5 damage or greater or any high risk maneuver. This card is does damage where damage is equal. So that's not going to, it's blank. So I can cancel out. Literally.
You did it.
Overshot your mark. You missed.
All right, I missed, and I get 2 cards because of stun.
That's hilarious. That's the lion salt. So you're jumping from the top rope and you overshot. That's what that card is.
Just a little bit.
All right, mine.
And technically, it would have been at plus like 2 damage or something because of this card, but that doesn't matter because you reversed it. I see how they do this.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm going to play an action from my backlash deck called When Hulk Mania Runs Wild on You. Look at your opponent's hand, choose a card, and he removes all cards with that title in his hand from the game. My next 2 cards played this turn cannot be reversed.
Uh-oh. I got nothing.
Real American. So I play that. They cannot be reversed. I get a look at your hand and discard stuff.
I got 10 damage.
But I know you can't reverse it, so we'll bash kick you for 10.
That's it.
All right,
Done.
that's making a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I felt like I was doing more that, like I was making more choices that time.
Figured it out a little bit more.
But I still feel like I don't know. I'm curious. Everyone watching that's played this game. I feel like the choices I'm making are pretty linear, where it's like, can I cancel this or not? Can I attack or not?
There's probably some play around whether or not you cancel cards, like whether you hold things and you know what your opponent may be able to do, so maybe you should hold this or hold that. And then the question of like, do you stop them from building up their fortitude, or do you let them have that and then start canceling their bigger cards? There's probably a lot of play there.
What up, Cam? This is Raw Deal, the CCG from 2000.
Okay. So Undertaker needs to get in here, right?
I think so. Is he the only one we have left? Is.
Yeah, it's the only one we got left, yeah. I could see how if you knew how to play this Jericho deck, you'd probably get your opponent on like 0 cards all the time.
That would be very frustrating, just like Chris Jericho.
That's right. Yeah, he is. He's just built to be frustrating, right?
Yeah.
So I like the 5, only can play 5 of these cards too. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And the 5 you choose is important. That is actually relevant. And
Yeah, Xantrix saying, I think it has a lot to do with Hogan being Hogan, not exactly a complex guy. You're correct.
he's not complex.
He's not complex. Interesting. Okay, so there's... It's just a sideboard. Just a sideboard.
I mean, it's more than, it's like almost the core.
Yeah, it's almost kind of the whole point. Well, it definitely gets rid of a lot of your weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Like if, for instance, that card that you can play 0 fortitude, 2 damage can't be reversed. It's like, okay, I just need to get some fortitude going. I need to get up on the scoreboard here so I can start playing some cards. but you don't always need it. Luke saying on Facebook, the game is designed to reflect real life and their gimmicks. There are members of development literally tasked with that role. So they're supposed to feel like the wrestler feels. Do you want to try to do the full backstage thing if you're not doing Hogan anymore, the busted thing? Let me go hit the banyo. And
That's what I'm looking at.
See what Undertaker does. Get some help from the old,
Yeah.
the old chat. Are you playing Undertaker or am I playing Undertaker?
I can play him, unless you want to.
Nah. Stay on the Jericho.
All right, Undertaker. Once during each of your turns, you may discard 2 cards and then put 1 card from your ringside pile in your hand, so you get stuff back from discard. And let's just take a look at him. All right, let's read down his little... I got a cheat sheet from my friend, Mike. I appreciate you sending these. So you want I'm the biggest dog on the block. Let's find that. And then we want managed by Paul Bearer. Makes sense. Old School Antics ×2. WrestleMania. Oh, wait. There's a lot of... This is crazy. I'm just going to read this as they come. Crazy town. This is crazy.
What's Taker do?
He crazy. So I can, once a turn, I can discard 2 cards and put a card from my discard pile back into my hand.
Okay.
So that's his.
Jericho's going to make you hate that.
Mm-hmm. So check out his pre-match cards. I'm the biggest dog on the block. The maximum number of pre-match cards I can have in my ring arena is reduced by 1. So I can only have 4 with this card. My superstar ability now reads, once during each of your turns, you may discard a card and then put a card from your ringside pile into your hand.
So you don't discard 2, you discard 1, yeah.
Yep. Then I have managed by Paul Bearer.
That's so funny, by the way.
Look at that guy.
Paul Bearer.
Yeah.
My gosh, how did this ever happen?
When this card is in your ring arena, once during each of your turns, you can discard a superstar-specific card and then put up to 3 cards from your ringside pile on the bottom of your arsenal.
Okay.
Undertaker may do this twice each of his turns.
Double
discard
heal.
2 Undertakers and put 6 back in. When this card is in your ring arena, during your turn, you may remove this card from the game and then put up to 3 mid-match cards from your discard pile and back into your deck. Then he has 2 Old School Antics. The maximum number of pre-match cards you may have in your ring area is increased by 1. So I go down to 4, up to 6.
Yeah.
When this card is in your ring area, during your turn, you may put this card into your ringside pile and shuffle up to 2 cards from your ringside pile into your arsenal. So 2 more back from discard pile. Then he has WrestleMania. It's the pay-per-view event. Can only be played when there is a feud card in any ring arena. So there has to be a feud in here somewhere.
Unless it's an answer.
And it says, the maximum number of pre-match cards you have in your ring arena is increased by 1. If you're about to lose the game via pinfall, you may instead put this card into your ringside pile, and then all players put their hand on the top of their arsenal and then shuffle a number of cards from the ringside pile into their arsenal, where the number of cards is equal to double their superstar value. So you shuffle your hand and then double your superstar value back into your deck. When this card is in your ringside pile, before you draw your draw segment, remove the top card of your arsenal from the game. Whew! I'm already lost. Product endorsements can only be played when your opponent does not have a face card in his arena. The next face pre-match card you play has the added text of the maximum number of pre-match cards you can have in your ring, and it's increased by 2. So it's plus 2 more. Now I can have 8.
I'm melting.
Old School Psychology. When this card is in your ring arena, you're like, cannot play the card titled Old School Wrestling.
Stop.
And then he gets to play them all, dude.
Give me the audiobook version of this game.
Oh my God, my face hurts. It's so funny. I don't even know.
All right, so play a bunch of play your whole stack of pre-match cards. Is that what we're looking at?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I play a card with a Smackdown logo, I can draw a card.
I'm definitely feeling like we should skip the pre-match phase. I don't know about you, but
Gone.
it's gone. It's gone.
That's crazy.
Luke saying, "Welcome to Raw Deal." The game where you thought you were wrestling, but you're actually reading a lot.
Here's a question for everyone that has played Raw Deal. If you remove the pre-match stuff or you reduce it down to like literally you get 2 cards to play there, how much of the flavor of this game do you think is gone? Like how critical is that? Because like I'm thinking about, I would buy starter decks for this to have as like a funny thing to like play with friends randomly and drink some beers. But like if I literally tried to read this stack of cards to someone as they're taking the first couple sips of their beer.
Can you imagine?
I would get laughed out of the room.
We've played like super complex games together, and that even gives me the willies. Like, it's terrifying.
It's just,
It's like if you went to, like, I was thinking about Game of Thrones has agendas, you know, Netrunner has identities. If you brought an identity to the game that had this much text on it, I would just quit.
Look
I'd
at
be like,
that.
oh, I'm not gonna read all. I'm not
literally
gonna
like 2
remember all that
pages.
during
That's
the
2
game.
pages.
We talked about this on the last podcast. Exhaustion stems from having to remember and understand everything on all these cards. We haven't even played the game yet, and we have all these cards. Now, if you knew your deck and you said just get extra 6 pre-match cards, is all my cards say, then I could understand it.
Mike just said these are from towards the end of the game.
So maybe this is why, you know, some people were saying they didn't like the Revolution stuff. Is that the Revolution stuff?
So Ben Clapperton says it started out as 3. And increased as the game went on, and there was more and more released.
Yeah.
So I could get into 3 of these. I could think about that.
I can do 3 or 1.
But we have an ability.
Why not just 1?
That's where I'm at. Is like, why not have?
Yeah.
I get the fun of like, oh, either of us could have a manager, either of us could have a venue, either of us could have a feud. But it's like,
here's what happens. Games like this, so remember the time period. The idea was launch the game and then continue to make the game for the highest level players. And so by the time you actually have done that over the course of 3 or 4 years, there's no new players. And even your light to medium players are like, this is too much. I'm not interested in this anymore. So you're left with your like 20 world champions who can play like cerebral Raw Deal and nobody else cares. Yeah. Because it's not wrestling anymore. It's cerebral card text game.
Yeah. And I'm even into, this is what's crazy for me, because some of these pre-match.
Oh, so Revolution maybe simplified the game. Well, maybe that was needed.
So here's the first step. Here's the pre-match cards in my stack that specifically say Undertaker. Let's stop. Let's stop down this train. Even let's just say I'm the biggest die on the block. My ability now says once during my turn I can discard 1 card and put 1.
Okay.
And so it's 1 for 1 instead of 2 for 1.
Great, makes sense.
So if I had to choose between that or
see here. Yeah, we can go 1 for 1. Let's just choose 1. This is great. We both get to modify our things.
I'm gonna choose 1. And you know what would be cool? Honestly,
What's that?
Like I have a superstar value of 4. What's yours? 3?
3.
So I'm gonna go first. I pick mine.
Yeah.
And then you get to pick yours based on what I did.
All right, I'm picking mine. Would you please shut up? When it's in my ring area, you randomly discard from my ability instead of choosing to discard. Does that make sense? I discard 1, you randomly discard 1 now. It used to
cool.
be you
See, I like
choose
that.
you're a little better, I'm a little better.
The idea of if I had
Done.
like a 5-card stack here that I could choose, and it's like I see the matchup that's happening, and then I get to choose as first player, and then you get to choose based on the matchup
cool.
and what I chose, I'm into that.
That's a true sideboard right there. It's like Zach's just gasping for air around all the text. The Ryle, what's up on YouTube? I love this game. Yeah.
It was just hurting my brain. Because it's like...
That's interesting, Martin.
The other thing is like, there's nothing on that card that makes me remember what it said besides a block of text.
Yeah.
So then like by the time I get to the end of this book... Look, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. This is 21 paragraphs of text. It's not a joke. That's like multiple pages of a book.
That's a chapter of some books right there.
And it's not written like a book.
No, it's not. That's hilarious. That's so funny. Okay, well, anyway, Jericho's a little better. You randomly discard, and your ability, you only have to discard 1, not 2. So we've improved ourselves. And now draw 7.
I got 6.
And you only got 6 cards. You're a plotting Undertaker. Okay. Okay. Let's do it.
That's good. Just read my sideboard cards.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you got new ones now. See, I got
Yeah.
the same ones. You probably have like a backlash in there, don't you? Yeah. I feel like everybody probably took that.
I feel like these 3, you're as graceful as a cow on ice, Survivor 3, then took that on the chin, Survivor 3, and then Backlash, Survivor 3. Those were in all the ones I've seen so far. And I've got the Atomic Bear Hug. I'm making this up as I go along, and then Panic Assault.
Okay, I get how this works. Oh, yeah. Okay, and I bet Roll to the Ring was a pretty common one there.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Let's go. Front Chancery. When successfully played, your opponent may shuffle 1 card from his ringside pile into his arsenal. 0 for 5.
And that's a great opening submission there. How about some Iron Will? As a reversal, when overturned, reverse any submission maneuver and end your opponent's turn.
Say that again. As a reversal?
Yeah, submission. Reverse any submission and end your opponent's turn.
You got it.
Get gone. Okay. Let's discard a card, and you discard 1 at random. Jericho. Then let's play a chokehold. When played, remove the top card of the arsenal from the game.
That's if you successfully play, right?
Just when played, not successfully.
This is
0
submission.
fortitude, 6 damage, submission. It's a heal. It's a throwback card. Chokehold.
Let's go. Reach for the ropes. Reverse any submission maneuver. And your opponent's turn, I may draw a card.
Did it.
Actually
You're not
stays.
Hulk anymore, yeah.
Nope. All right, let's do this. Panic Assault from my Backlash deck.
From your backlash
Wait,
deck.
what's your Fortitude?
0.
I can't play that yet.
Yeah, you can't play it because we're both awful.
Let's use my Undertaker ability. I can discard a card from my hand to put a card from my discard pile into my hand. Let's give that front Chancery back. Chancery?
Chancery.
Let's play a front Chancery. 0 for 5 again. That's pretty cool. Undertaker can just keep looping it back until you can't handle it.
Seems like what he does. You got it, brother.
When successfully played, your opponent may shuffle a card from their ringside pile back into your arsenal. You do that before this maneuver.
We'll get that diversion back in there. Okay, and then we do, what, 5 damage?
5 damage. I am a true American.
1, 2, 3. What kind of card is it? Submission.
Submission.
When played from your hand, doesn't count. I don't know. I wonder. It says, when it says reversal submission up here,
Yep.
do you think that counts when you flip? Because the text is blank? So would Stranglehold, the throwback Stranglehold, would that count as an overturned reversal? All of you Raw Deal fans out there, tell me that. Because the text says, as a reversal, when played from your hand, reverse and end your opponent's turn. But if it doesn't say that, I mean, does it, maybe this is the example where it reverses, but it doesn't stop the turn because the text is specifically linked to playing it from your hand.
That would make sense.
Maybe you only care about this for the purpose of only when played from hand, like what it
Mine says when
reverses
played from hand.
in the text. When played from hand. Only when played from hand. Okay, 3. 4. Reversing a grapple? Nope. 5. You got me.
All right, let's play from my Backlash deck. Atomic Bear Hug.
Can't be reversed.
Can't be reversed from my opponent's Backlash deck.
Yeah.
Can only be played after successful grapple or submission, which is what I did.
How about get you some Sidewalk Slam? Reverse any card that cannot be reversed. It cannot be reversed.
Well, it says cannot be reversed from opponent's backlash. Like, I assume that's what
It has the text. I
So
count
then
it.
this goes to discard.
Take 3 damage.
1, 2, 3. Got it.
Draw a card to start my turn. Okay. Let's use Jericho's ability. Discard 1 at random from your hand.
The old Boston Crab.
Boston Crab, get out of here.
Throwback card.
All right, I'm at 3 now. Does that open up anything fancy?
Discard 2 for chain. Oh, this was a chain card. You had to discard 2 cards to do it.
From my hand?
Yep.
From my hand?
Yep.
From my hand?
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want to still do it?
I guess.
I guess. Japan in himself says, asking about the new Power Rangers miniatures sets from Kickstarter next week. So if you're talking about the one that's going to be announced, if you're a subscriber, that'll ship automatically when those are coming out with all the Kickstarter exclusives and whatnot. If you're talking about the Allies pack, which is coming soon, we're supposed to be getting that very soon, as well as the exclusives from Phase 2. So just sit tight.
It has to specifically can't be reversed. It said can't be reversed with no other clauses technically. But it could be after Hulkmania. Okay, so after one of the sets, just reverse it, man.
All right, you're reversed. We're fine. Go ahead.
The card text said it. I believe in the cards.
I get what he's saying. So like cards say can't be reversed, period.
Yeah.
That's what that could cancel. Which is funny because it's reversing an unreversible card.
That's not what the card says.
We're used to games that say can't wins.
Okay.
Of course, Japan. Let me know if you have more questions.
Play an action. Roll out of the ring. Wait. Nope. Can't do that. It's worthless. I don't have any cards. How about I give you an Atomic Bear Hug? 7 damage, 3 fortitude. Can only be played after successfully. Nope. Can't do that. Didn't do it. Okay, I'll do nothing.
Pass.
Moving
my turn.
on. Yep.
Nice.
Where'd you get all those cards? Oh, it was that chain submission. That was the problem. Weird.
All right, let's do this. I'm going to discard a Undertaker's Chokeslam.
To get another card in your hand? Or does it go to your deck?
I discard a card and I put one into my hand.
No way.
Yep.
Forever?
Yep.
My gosh, that's a bustedly good ability. You just keep chaining out the things I can't reverse. That's what I do. Michael Waldo, reading does seem to be a theme.
All right, here we go. I'm going to grab Throttle within an inch of your
It
life.
says WWE Raw,
Like read a book.
Like read.
Throttled within an inch of your life. Playing it, it's a strike plus a grapple. Cannot be reversed from your opponent's hand.
Okay.
And it says, when successfully played, he overturns cards until 2 applicable reversal cards are revealed or until he has only 1 card in his arsenal.
So it just goes forever.
Until you get a strike cancel and a grapple cancel.
Reverse any strike maneuver of 5D or greater. It doesn't count. Reverse any grapple.
All right, there's 1 of your 2.
Nope. Reverse any maneuver.
You got it.
Do I have to have the fortitude though, right?
Yep.
On the overturn?
Beating you within an inch of your life. That card's crazy. Apparently it can be 2 grapples. It just has to be 2. It doesn't have to be those 2 particulars. Like it can be 2 of like strike or 2 grapple or whatever.
Reverse any submission? Nope.
I think you just giggled.
Nope. Reverse any maneuver 10, fortitude. Reverse any 7D or less. Is that a 7D or less?
It's less than 7D, yeah. You stopped it.
All right, only a 20 damage strike. Nice. For 0 fortitude.
I'll pass. That's a crazy card.
What? Okay. Okay. Here we go. Okay.
Apparently that card just beats Goldberg. From how people build this deck.
Oh, man. What's happening? Okay, how about some of this?
I feel like I have a loose conceptual understanding of what's going on, but I'm still really not sure yet.
Breakdown. What's the breakdown? Okay,
Mike says, you're really getting the full raw deal experience. LOL. Thanks, Mike.
Okay, how about some of this?
I just feel like in the 90s and 2000s, they did not care.
Just didn't care. Just didn't care.
Thanks, Chef. Saying we're doing great.
Let's play what's your fortitude rating? 5.
5.
How about a dirty low blow? Can only be played if I'm lower than you and cannot be reversed from your hand. 2 fortitude.
How many cards in your hand?
Or 2 damage. 2 cards in my hand.
It can't be what?
Can't be reversed from your hand.
You got it. How much damage?
5.
5.
2. 2.
1. Hey, it's Rey Mysterio. 2.
I love Rey Mysterio.
Is it a submission?
It is a strike heel.
By the way, I just realized, like if you look at Reach for the Ropes, in the subtext it says reversal submission.
Mm-hmm.
It's telling you there what it does.
You didn't know that?
No, I've been reading into the text every time.
Well, sometimes the only one, they all say special, and then you got to read in the text anyway.
Especially you have to read. But
Yeah.
like, I
That's
just
the
saw
readers.
reversal submission. I was like, oh, that's really handy to know.
That's the reader cards. All right. How many cards you got in your hand? 2? Is that right?
Yeah.
I'm going to play Happy You're Here, Happy You're Gone, Fortitude 5. When it's in your ring area, I can discard 2 cards instead of 1.
How much fortitude you got?
I got 5 exactly.
We're tied. All right, what's up? I discard 2?
It just goes in. No, nothing happens yet. It just makes my ability better. All right. Then let's play. Side headlock. Can only be reversed from your opponent's hand. 2 damage. It's a submission.
You got it. 2 damage?
Take 2.
And it can't be reversed from my deck.
Correct.
All right, go ahead.
Don't worry. Have an atomic bear hug. After a successful submission, cannot be reversed from your opponent's backlash deck. Chain. 2 cards to do so.
Oh, I can't. I only have 2 cards, and I can't play the reverse. Oh, wait, I can do over here.
You can't do the backlash deck.
Oh, no. All right, how much? 7?
7 damage.
Here we go. Can't be reversed from my deck, or just the backlash
Just
deck?
the backlash deck, yeah.
Reverse any card if your opponent has another card with that title in his ring arena, or completely reverse any multi-card.
It's not a multi-card, and I don't have another
2, 3, 4. Any reverse special. Any card that cannot be reversed. I wonder if the reverse specials just don't do anything.
Maybe that's right, if you overturn them.
Yeah.
Do the reverse specials work if you overturn them when you're overturning? Because it would make a lot of sense if you just reference the top of the card when overturning, and you reference the text when playing. Boy, that would make things easy. Martin says yes, maybe? That would actually make this game make so much sense to me. No, they work. Special works on overturn. Okay. The rule we thought may have been there is not there after all.
Reverse any maneuver of 7D or less and into your opponent's turn.
Ah, it's
That was my last
7D.
card. So it stays in play because it was
Yeah.
from my deck. But now I gets to go. Let's use my Undertaker ability. Discard.
Get whatever you want. Okay, as long as it doesn't say when played from hand, it works.
Get a bow and arrow submission. I'm going to play a bow and arrow submission.
Quit it. Okay, you got me.
When successfully played, draw a card. When this card is in your ring area, my submission maneuvers are +2 damage. So it does 8 damage.
8 damage.
The big 8.
Strike. No? 2.
That's a submission.
3.
There it is.
As a reversal. Reverse any submission maneuver into your opponent's turn.
You did it.
Consider it reverse. Drawing a card. I need cards. How do I draw cards?
Once a turn.
Okay, hold on. There's got to be some ideas here. All right, let's see if it hits before I care about it. Let's do roll out of the ring, discard up to 2 cards, and then put the same. No, I don't even want to do that. Yes.
Jeremy says this is painful. Come to New England and we can show you how to play.
Roll out of the ring. Well, doesn't that say something though?
That does say a lot.
I mean, if you give people decks, you teach them the rules, and they're playing the game all wrong, what does that mean? Does it mean we are not steeped in the ins and outs of every card in the game? Yes, it means that for sure. Does it also mean that there's a lot of text on the cards and it's a very difficult game to learn and be good at? Perhaps it also means that. Does it mean that Zach and I are just stupid? Well,
Maybe.
it could mean that as well.
Although we made it through some thick CCGs.
I tell you what, yeah, you
Appreciate
give
that,
this
Eric.
to half the people that I've played games with before, and they will not even give it a shot.
And Martin says it's a stupidly hard game. Always was. Eric says, no way, this is great to see these cards being played. Appreciate that.
Roll out of the ring.
You got it.
All right, it's in. We're going to discard 1 card. It's a kick. And we're going to get Keebler Instincts in. Then I'm going to play Keebler Instincts. Cannot be reversed. If I'm Chris Jericho, draw 3 in my turn. You cannot play maneuvers on your next turn.
I see what you did there.
I need cards. Now I can discard cards to make you discard cards.
Mike says, people never believe me when I tell them how complicated this game was.
Man, how many times have we heard this from Jeremy? It's very in-depth, but once you understand it, it's amazing. We talked about this many times. There's so many of these games like this. It's like, yeah, if you're willing to put in the year's worth of work, it opens up into something quite
If you
beautiful.
get over this hurdle, yeah.
And games you have to spend that much time to learn have a special place in your heart.
All right, I can't play any
Because
maneuvers.
it's a community. It's a dedicated group.
So I'll just pass.
Nothing. Yeah, you can't be doing maneuvers. Get wrecked.
Japan saying it wasn't complicated during sets 1 through 5. Mike, how many of these cards are from not set 1 through 5? Is it most of them?
All right, Chris Jericho's ability. 1 random card gets discarded, and then 1 card gets discarded of your choice. Give me that hand. Random is this one,
It's foil. It's got big numbers on it.
and
Can I
then
pick?
you pick one for you.
All right, good.
All right, then let's do a standing drop kick, a strike, throwback. If it's successfully played, you discard 3 cards.
What kind of is it?
It's a strike.
How much damage?
8.
Elbow to the face.
Ah.
Reverse any maneuver of 7 damage or less. It doesn't work. I thought it was the other way around. What is this your first maneuver?
First maneuver.
All right, what happens?
Take 8.
Sorry.
And then discard 3 cards.
What kind is it?
Strike.
Whenever turn, reverse any strike, grapple, or submission maneuver. And
Discard 3 cards
reverse
first.
it. It's reversed. My turn, right?
You reverse it?
Yeah, first card.
Off the top
Off
rope?
the top.
What are you talking about? Let me make sure you're right. Whenever turned, okay, reverse anything and end the turn. Remove this card from the game and put 1 card from your hand on the bottom. Is this the thing that's blanked? Do you read the rest of the
It's
text?
just- yeah, you don't read the rest of the text.
Okay. Stop. Stop reading.
Once I get to a stop moment, I'm really out. All right.
What's your fortitude?
My fortitude is 10, 15 plus 7. 25 minus 3, 22.
All right, let's use my Undertaker ability to discard and get a card. Let's get the Boston Crab. I'm going to play the Boston Crab.
When played after I successfully played... Nope, we're good. It's a blank.
It's a 9/9.
It's a 9/9. What kind of thing is it?
It's a submission, and it's +2 because of my bow and arrow. When this is in the ring, I get +2 to all my submissions.
So this is weird. So every time you're going to be able to draw a card and just play that again forever.
If you cancel it. If I play it, it goes under the board.
Yeah, and then you can't play anything else.
I can't play that again.
There's nothing. I mean, you have no hand, and this is the last thing you could possibly play.
You're trying.
By the way, this is so thematic because Chris Jericho's just trying to put me in the Lion Tamer. Give me that submission. I can't draw any cards.
All right, here we go.
All right, give me 9.
It's a
It's
submission.
11. It's 11.
Strike.
2, 3,
3,
4,
Grapple.
5,
Action.
6,
Reverse any submission. When played from your hand.
7,
Ah!
8.
Reverse any strike, grapple, or submission and end your opponent's turn.
All right, end of turn.
Pass. Passy wassy.
Fathead Chef says Jericho in control. I love this. Jeremy says reverse. I reverse that. I reverse your reverse. Reverse it again.
Okay, so I've got one slot on the mid-match cards here, and I've got nothing there. So you got no cards in your hand? I don't have any unique cards here. All right, go for it. All over to you.
Draw a card. Let's discard a card. To get a card. To play a card. To get a card. Let's get Undertaker's Chokeslam. We're going for a grapple. 15-15.
Roll the footage, monkeys. Reverse any action card in your opponent's turn. You may search your arsenal for one card with the same title as the reverse card. Reveal it. Put it in your hand and shelf your arsenal. I'm guessing I don't have the Undertaker's Chokeslam.
I'm going to guess that's correct, yeah.
Okay. Draw a card. Okay. I'm going to try to play a Great Power Brawl. I'm going to draw a card, and then when it's in my ring area, my stuff is buffed.
Like Buff Bagwell?
Yep, like Buff Bagwell, exactly.
He just has a really...
Oh, hold on. That reverses actions only. Whee!
What does?
This. Action cards are not any cards. They're specific types of
The
cards.
card that you stop my attack with?
Yeah, so we'll do this one instead. 10D or greater. Let's go. The King's interfering. Okay. Reverse anything. 10D or greater.
You got it.
It gives me 3 damage there.
I do 3? I take 3?
Yep, 3 damage.
It could give me a really good card to get back with the Taker. That's a cool theme. I like that a lot.
All right, then I draw. And then
Chat MVP out there.
trying for the Great Power Brawl again. Buffs my stuff, draw a card.
Buffs like Buff Bagwell.
Buffs like Buff Bagwell, that's right. Okay. I'm at 25 fortitude. That's not enough for anything exciting. Over to you.
Draw a card. Use my Taker ability. Play my Chokeslam.
You did it. Somehow. You outraced my reversal cards.
15.
What kind of thing is it?
It's a grapple. 3,
No.
4,
5. Hybrid card. Is it a hybrid?
6. No.
6, 7.
7.
Reversal, submission,
8.
8. Any maneuver, 7D or less.
9.
Removal, 7D or less.
10.
Oh, you got me.
Let's have a discussion.
Okay.
You cool with the discussion?
Sure.
What? How are you feeling right now?
We can have a discussion. This game is way more complex than I thought it would be.
So this is so actually interesting for me because it's.
You love wrestling.
I do love wrestling.
You love it with
I'm
all of
fine
your
with
heart.
this game. I feel like if I picked
What's up, John the Bard?
if I picked a wrestler, right, which is what you would do. Like
Yeah, I would think so. You
like
want to play a
Sting
particular
or
wrestler.
Hogan
Yeah.
or whoever.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then I would play that wrestler, and I would play that wrestler over and over and over. And it's like very quickly I would learn all of my pre-match cards and why I would want to play certain ones and what they all do. And I wouldn't have to read
And
it.
hopefully you have different builds for whatever you want to play.
And I would know exactly what these things do. And it's like I know exactly what my deck's trying to do, and I'm doing it like I'm just being that wrestler, right?
Yeah.
So I think that once that's what they're saying is like once you get past that curve, it's going to be amazing because you're really going to feel like it's going to like the granularity of this card game is high because of how much I think you could make it feel like a certain wrestler.
Well, I know how many constants you have too. You have pre-match cards, you have mid-match cards, so you can smooth out whatever it is that you don't like. You can save your weaknesses or you can buff your strengths. And then you got to build this thing.
Yes.
And you got to figure out probably what am I trying to do here? Am I trying to get to 30 and land the Lion Tamer thing? Am I trying to just reverse everything, win card advantage, and just do 2 or 3 here and there?
But I think what's so fascinating about this game, and we're going to have to talk about this more on the podcast. So we have a weekly podcast called the Covenant Cast, and we're always basically looking at tabletop-related topics from the perspective of like players and retailers because that's what we are. And we've been doing Throwback Thursdays for Isolation. This is like number 6. We did Miller CCG, Lord of the Rings TCG, Star Wars CCG, Star Wars TCG. We've done. We look back at Legend of the Five Rings, the LCG. We did Netrunner.
Epic Duels even.
We did Epic Duels, and basically that has set the stage on the podcast for a lot of discussions about game design because we've done 90s, 2000s. We're about to, I think, be getting into some 2010s. That was like early Covenant era stuff. So like late 2000 normals and then teens, whatever the 2000s are, I guess.
Hots.
But the thing about this game that's really fascinating, unlike the past couple that we've done, the Lord of the Rings TCG, specifically Middle Earth CCG, the complexity, in my mind, isn't actually the execution of the game.
Yeah, the game plays quickly and easily.
It moves fast.
Aside from that, if we had a really clear explanation of how overturn works,
yes,
I think that would have saved a lot.
It's not that. It's not that crazy.
Complex.
Like even if I'd had someone that's like, oh, it says reversal, and if it says special, you need to read what it can cancel. If it says a specific thing, because
if it says from your hand, then it doesn't work when you overturn it.
100, absolutely.
Easy mode.
It does say from your hand up here.
It'll say it in the text.
There's no reason it doesn't.
Yeah, there's no reason.
And even if it said special dash and listed the things it might cancel.
Or parentheses hand.
Yeah. Anyways, there's all sorts of ways to fix that. Or
Right.
an icon with like cards fanned out. Like special with an icon, it's like, oh, that's going to be from hand.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's 2000s things, right?
There's
Templating,
easy
icon,
ways to make this,
cheat things. But it's actually the complexity of like, we talked about it kind of last week, but the amount of information you just have to know that's happening, that's like with all these pre-match cards and all these things, plus a hand of 7 or 8 cards. It's like the information you have to carry with you every round is pretty high.
It is high.
And so like, this is weird because it's like, this is the first game we've played on the streams, on the throwbacks, that is complexity of maintaining information explicitly.
The game itself is
execution.
not complex. That's I kind of like that about it, actually. Like, so, the Middle Earth CCG, that's an example of a game that is very difficult to execute, even though the cards are fairly simple. But it's like, oh, you need to get a ring bearer over to this thing, and then if you want to identify a ring, then here's a new mechanic that you have to read about, and this is how identifying a ring works. This is very simple. You play a maneuver, you play an action. Those are really kind of your 2 things that you can do. Play a maneuver action, read it, do what it says, try to get your fortitude high so you can land big moves. And then hold some reversals. You can reverse your opponent's stuff, and if you can't, then maybe you overturn something off the top of the deck. Not terribly hard. Then you add the mid-match stuff, and it's like, okay, this is like a sideboard hand that you can play 5 of during a game, and it's generally things that are going to keep you in the game that you're just getting unlucky in. So like, you didn't draw any maneuvers, you can always play a 0-2 dirty low blow to get 2 fortitude. That allows you to now play the 2 fortitude cards that are in your hand. Okay, that makes sense. And then you can cancel a few things if you're getting pounded on. Okay, I get that. That all makes sense. Then when you add the pre-match stuff, that's when it starts to get a little like, anytime you're having to do a lot of stuff before you start playing a game, it gets a lot of people right out the door. It's easy to turn off in that moment and be like, oh my gosh, there's so much complexity.
Especially when I think about a game that we played not that long ago, Flesh and Blood, where you have a character and you start with stuff. Like, I thought that's where it was going when I saw the boa with Hulk, Hulk's boa. Even if the things you were playing thematically tied into what they do, but like as an example, this card is "You will respect me."
Yeah.
Like, that's a sentence, first off. Second, I don't know what that does, right? If it was like Undertaker's sleeve or like his boots of justice, right? It's like
I still wouldn't know what they do.
But it's like if the name related specifically to like what it's buffing.
Yep. That's fair. I mean, coming into this with fresh eyes as people who have not played this before, give me one pre-match card. And then maybe have one that says you can have 2 pre-match cards, and then you have 2 pre-match cards. It's like, okay, I can at least digest that.
Or even if it was like there were 2 or 3 and you picked one, I can read through and choose the one that I think sounds the most exciting. But like having to remember even 5 of them, like having to choose between 5.
And a lot of them are just comboing out the early game, and you don't have to remember them for the rest of the game. But it's just this weird combination of things that gives me plus things and minus things, and then I draw up to my hand size and this thing. So it feels like a very like, if you don't know it, you're losing kind of thing. Which in a game, like if you have a player who's played for 1 week and a player who's played for 6 years, and they already win after the pre-match stage, you don't want that. I mean, that's not good for anything. So I think, 1 or 2 pre-match cards, I'd feel really good about that. Like an Agenda in Thrones or like I said, Identity in Netrunner. Give yourself a little flair, a little way to kind of express your wrestler a little bit differently.
I think it's cool conceptually. It's like, even as an example, let's say you could bring 3. And there's different types. There's the like pay-per-view style event where it's like, oh, this is SummerSlam. And it's like, maybe that was a really big deal for Undertaker. And it's like a thing, right? He's better in the summer. Or there's like a feud cards. And it's like, if you're playing against this wrestler, you get this thing. And it's like, it doesn't have to be, I'm just better for it. But it makes that matchup, if Undertaker runs into Kane, it's like, or Stone Cold Steve Austin runs into The Rock. It's like, oh, this is a different kind of game now. This is the next level.
You see him in a tournament, it's like,
it's like, this is a crazy match. It just makes that a crazy match.
Yeah.
Anyways, but the amount, like, obviously when I was reading Undertaker, it's crazy.
The cards are easy to execute.
It's
really a couple of things you read.
But that's where, even when I'm like choosing what cards to play, like on my turn it's cool because I'm looking for yellow cards and blue cards.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you can do.
And then on your turn I have my red cards and it's like you play a grapple, it's like can't do anything, start flipping.
Yeah, I'd love to know if there's how much strategy there is behind do I cancel this or not. And the one thing, here's the thing, and Super Show does a pretty decent job of getting around this, although it has its moments on this too, which is like, a lot of times these kinds of wrestling games can devolve into, does my opponent have a reversal or not? And
which is why I liked it triggering off the deck.
As much as that, I like that mechanic more than I like it out of hand, actually, because as much as that might actually be what wrestling is about, like, is this guy gonna reverse this move? Because there's a lot of reversals in wrestling. It's also such a slow process of like, okay, let me check. Grapple, no. Submission, no. Strike, no. Okay, you can do that thing. Like, you have to checkpoint at every maneuver.
I almost think it would be. Imagine if I like the combo cards that are like half maneuver and half reversal.
Yeah.
And if reversal's only flipped off the top of your deck.
I think a game could get far off of that concept. Because
that
kind of feels like wrestling, right? Neither player really knows if this is going to turn around the match right now or not. Just like as the audience, you don't know if the reversal is going to come down the pipe or not.
Because sometimes you get the leg kick and they fall over and they're done, and sometimes you get the leg kick and they bounce right back up.
They bounce right back, yeah.
But that's where like if it clearly had like reversal and then in the little subtitle it said this is exactly what it reverses, and I would do away with like the combined and the multi. It's literally just it's a grapple, it's a submission, it's a finisher, it's a whatever, and it's like and if you were only flipping off top of the deck. And you're just matching the thing, right? Yeah. It's like, so your thing that does 10 damage might do 10, it might do 1. That's the variable. That's the variance that you don't know.
It kind of reminds me of what we're talking about with Skytear, where you can balance your deck in different avenues.
Sure.
It's like, okay, well, this deck I'm building is not going to be nearly as offensive because it has a bunch of reversal cards. So my plan is like, everything that's going to happen, maybe I lose 2 and then it's reversed, or maybe I lose 3 and then it's reversed. Whereas one deck might have 5 reversal cards or 0 reversal cards in it and be this all offensive, like, destroy everything deck.
In fact, you just gave me an idea. So what if every maneuver, what if you just can all the reversal stuff? And then literally every maneuver was like grapple, and then it was dash, and then it's like reversal with a type.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's literally just in your deck, the cards you're choosing, the maneuvers you're even choosing. I think you could cut this down to like a 30-card deck.
But then it wouldn't be the 2000s, man.
That's right. I'm just saying, like, if you were bringing this to modern times.
I want to plug all the text. I want to plug as much text on the card.
The concept.
And I want to have a big old deck.
It reminds me of like in Skytear when you have the resources that can also be a contributing thing, and then the attack value.
Yeah.
Where it's like you don't need separate cards that do attacks and separate cards that do control. Every card does both.
That's how card games evolve, though.
Yeah, and that's where it's like
They really did evolve like
the
that.
double underhook backbreaker is a grapple, and if it said dash reversal submission, and it's like, okay, if it's in my hand, it's playable as a grapple, and if it flips off the top of my deck, it can cancel a submission. So then I'm looking at all the different grapples, and it's like, well, do I need a balance? Like this grapple has this other text, right? But like I also need submission cancels, so I have to start making choices and balancing my deck out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
But then I think you just clean up, because then on your turn when you're doing stuff, I'm not even like playing cards from hand.
Yeah.
I'm just flipping, and like, does it match up to the icons or not?
And the thing is, that makes the game faster, that makes it more streamlined, but it also takes away what a lot of people out there,
This is really
Super
funny.
Show raw players probably would hate that, because what it takes away is the strategic, cerebral element of the game, where you're having a world championship and every single tiny play matters. Are you going to reverse this from your hand or not? It's not kind of a freewheeling, it's a crazy wrestling match. This game, 100% at the highest level, is going to be, it's just like Doomtown was. It's going to be like, you thought it was about, shooting up a saloon and being cowboys. Not at all. It's about careful management of positioning and land titles and deeds and all of where your horses are and where your cowboys are. It has nothing to do. There's maybe one shootout in the game. I'll bet this at the highest level plays very much like that, where it's not even a wrestling game.
Yeah.
It's just a deck building strategy game, right?
And that's
What do you got?
What's funny is Chris was saying, I feel like they should try Revolution style raw deal. They're describing the game design. And apparently, where was that?
The Revolution, you said?
Yeah, Mike said in Revolution, that set close to the end where they simplified it. Every basic card is a hybrid reversal, but for a specific type, so it was kind of like rock.
Man,
paper,
it's
scissors.
exactly what we said. And then I bet you the classic players hated it, because if you had been playing for X number of sets, you were still playing because you loved the way the game played like this. And so when you come in and you wipe the slate clean and give it less of that cerebral strategy element, everybody who's still playing at that point is there because of the cerebral strategy element, right? So then you take that away, and it's like, oh, well, now the old players don't like it, and heaven forbid, good luck getting a marketing push to get everybody into the 15th set of Raw Deal.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
And that's where, like, from what they were describing, too, it's classic. I mean, these are the lessons that got learned, right?
Hopefully.
Over the 90s and 2000s. The game started off, there was not a backlash deck at all. The pre-match cards that you were playing, you could play 3 of, and not 5 or 6 or whatever we ended up doing. And over time, they increased from 3 to 6.
Right.
More cards coming out. You have to make it more variable and more interesting, so everyone that's playing Undertaker's not the same 3.
Imagine the deck building, though, at 6 pre-match cards.
And I think
What could you do?
there's a magic to this, though, right? So then the third set was called Backlash, and it introduced the Backlash deck. And that also started out smaller.
Right, of course.
So what we've been talking about recently is I feel like with a lot of CCGs in the 90s and 2000s, the game starts out pretty simple and straightforward, and then it's identified, right? When you're playing without a Backlash deck, we saw it. We played without it. And it was like, oh, sometimes I passed 8 turns in a row because I didn't have a 0.
Didn't draw anything
fortitude
that mattered,
maneuver.
yeah.
You cancel my first one, and it's like, well, wait 5 more turns. That can be pretty boring. So you want to get into the action. It's like, oh, what if we gave everyone like 6 cards they automatically had?
Yeah.
And it was like, you have a canceled, but it can't be on the first maneuver, so you can't stop the basic stuff, but you can stop the big stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, and we make sure they have a couple attacks. And then it's like, oh, that becomes a problem because this is too consistent. And
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
well,
yeah.
now we have to give you 3 more cards to that stack and
Now
2
you-
more cards over here.
And you got to be able to counter that stuff now.
And then, like,
because you
what-
found the thing that was degenerate, and then
And you
everybody
keep-
just
and
copied
and
it.
it's
yeah.
basically balanced through silver bullet, right?
Right,
Through
right,
answer,
right.
answer, complexity, until you get to a point where it's so complex that there are no guaranteed answers or guaranteed results or guaranteed counters, But you get to that point, and you get to the 10 sets into a CCG.
Yeah, right.
New player walks up, and it's like, unless I have people I know I'm going to play with locally who I see obsessing over this game, that is a mountain to climb that most
Huge
people
mountain.
don't. We've seen
Yeah.
it over and over. Games get 2, 3, 4 years into the life cycle, and new players can't get in. It's too much, right? And then you get into this problem where it's like, what do you do to make it where people... Because I think we've experienced this specifically. The Star Wars TCG was the same way for us. And it's like, if you started at the beginning and you learned with just the basic stuff and it slowly expanded, it's not too much.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to read the 10 cards. You
Yeah,
were there when
yeah,
it was
yeah.
3. And
You
then
were
you were
th-
there when it was 5.
You were there whenever that piece of art you saw it 20 times in a row, every single tournament.
You know
and so
what it
you never
does.
read it again.
Yeah.
And then you got scaffolded into the second set and scaffolded into the third set and the sixth set and the eighth set. And then by the time player comes in trying to catch up on 8 sets, it's like,
Yeah.
do you want to read a couple Dune books? You know, it's like you've got to just sit there with a deck builder and read through every single card and try to
we've
figure it
seen
out.
this over and over. We even saw this, I think,
Yeah.
recently. It was one of the big problems with X-Wing.
Yeah.
X-Wing 2.0 comes out, and it's like, it came out because first edition became degenerate.
Right.
And
right,
like
right.
at the end,
it was
like,
too consistent
I
and
got
cerebral,
out because
right?
it was like, this isn't even X-Wing anymore.
It wasn't even about moving ships.
No, it's literally just about like guaranteed math results, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, I'm not here to run spreadsheets. Like that's not why I signed up. And then 2.0 comes out, and the problem is that one, it is not anywhere near the same level of complexity that it was, which is good for some people, horrible for everyone that was still. Everyone that was left didn't want it. That's what it sounds like having a revolution. It's so funny to see these history just repeating itself.
It's incredible. I was going to say, we should check this out. We'll go to the main chat. I was going to say, instead of relying, and I think this is, we saw it, Star Wars TCG did this for sure. I think you kind of have to realize that the best time in a game, this is a theory that we've had for a while, the best time in a card game is whenever both players can essentially kind of do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that one player didn't draw the stuff and the other player did and then they get steamrolled, right? That's not fun in a card game. But that just means, what can we do to get players more cards, right? So rather than talking, let's just not even talk about the mid-match deck. Let's say whenever you pass without playing a card, you draw a card. A simple rule, right? Start of your turn, you draw a card, and then you can, if you don't want to play anything, pass and draw another one. Already, we've doubled the amount of cards that you see if you're in that frustrating situation where you can't play a maneuver. And it gives you an out with a very basic mechanic. Draw an extra card. And so at that point, those degenerate games become less and less, like common because you're doubling the amount of cards a player is seeing. Eventually, they're going to see the cards that they need.
Well, and if you're getting 2 cards a turn, you're going to also build a very significant advantage.
Well, it's only if you pass.
Totally,
right?
but I mean,
So-
like, if you just pass for like 8 turns because you're not seeing anything.
Sure.
Now you're just going to go wrestling, right? It's like,
Yeah. You're
I'm
getting
gonna
beat
unload
up
on
for a
you,
while,
yeah.
and then it's like, I'm getting beat up, but I've got a hand of like 20
Yeah.
cards, and then maybe there's cards that discard your opponent's hand, that kind of stuff. But I think there was an immediate interest in identifying problems, but not thinking in like almost in a Kantian way. I hate to say that, it sounds really dumb, but like that categorical imperative thinking, where it's like, okay, so if we introduce like a sideboard and this pre-match stuff, is that going to eventually be too much? Well, it won't be on the first set, it won't be. But if we
'Cause there's, like,
imagine
12
designing
options,
cards
right?
for 6 more sets, is this going to be an extra added on like mechanic that's going to get too heavy? And I think most of those 2000s, 90s CCGs just kept adding. And then when something was too complex, they added something else that would remove the thing that was too complex, but that actually made it more complex.
Yeah.
We've seen it across like hundreds of these games. It's amazing. Not that there's hundreds of them, but hyperbole hundreds of these games. It's pretty fascinating. Looks like apparently UK, you guys are like super into Raw Deal. Is
they
that
had
right?
a huge community for this apparently back in the day. And then they still have like big communities online.
That's just amazing to me. Did we ever answer the question why Canadians love wrestling so much? Maybe it's the same reason in the UK you like wrestling so much. Is it just kind of
Dude.
like a guilty pleasure?
Donovan, this comment's awesome. He says, Continental Philosophy, Games, and Wrestling. Jesus, was this stream made just for me?
Stick around,
Hey,
Donovan.
you should
We got
listen to
more
our
for you.
podcast. That's basically what our podcast is every week. It usually goes up on Friday during isolation, sometimes Friday night, Saturday.
All right, so ultimate. Having been through the whole ringer so far of some of these old CCGs, this is way lighter than a lot of them. I mean, compare this to Middle Earth CCG. Get out of here. It's
the
not, I
actual-
had a map on the table.
Yeah, the actual gameplay. I could once you get past the like upfront headache of understanding what's going on,
Sure.
I could jam out games of this. Particularly, and I get it. Like once I know my wrestler, and it's like I don't have to read any of these cards. I
Right.
know exactly what they do.
If we sat down and it's like, okay, you get 8 pre-match cards, I know what they're going to be. I get 3 pre-match, we know what those are going to be. And we start the game. Like, you're playing The Undertaker, you always do this combo with your pre-match cards.
Yeah.
You're playing Stone Cold, you always do this combo. It's like, oh, it's Stone Cold, okay.
Yeah, I think I
start
could
laying the-
jam games of that out. I could also very much see like I get good with the wrestler, right? And then you just do the wrestling thing, right? Which
Yeah.
is like, hey,
Somebody-
tonight's going to be tag team. It's like every round you're going to get randomly paired with someone. You better be good with your wrestler. And it's like, oh, Undertaker and Hogan have to join forces
That's cool.
randomly. And then it's
Yeah.
like next week, it's like, this is going to be a Royal Rumble. It's like there's 2 people in the ring. When you lose, you get knocked out of the
Best
table.
format of all
And you just keep rolling,
games.
right?
Yeah, best format. That's amazing. Guys, what do you think out there? Last thoughts from Donovan. It's called the Covenant Cast. What's going on? How are you guys feeling about the game? I mean, are you guys still playing it? Is it still like I know there's like an online thing going on. Do people still get together with the classic cards and like actually sit down and play this game? Is there like a big tournament scene or anything sometimes, like a once a year convention or something?
This is great. Mike says we did that all the time, and the missing says that's literally what happened at my locals back in the day every week.
Very cool. Yeah. Donovan, thanks for doing this today. I'm just getting back into Raw Deal. That's just so cool. Pleasant stream to listen to in the background while I worked. Luke saying we aren't far from the truth. Certain combination can be expected for the most part, but everything is timing and it allows for the back and forth. Yeah, play it when you can.
Apparently there's a Worlds at Gen Con every year.
Thank you, John the Bard, saying the podcast has been great. Gen Con has a Worlds every year. Cool.
So, and like, by the way, the deeper this community runs and the longer it goes, I can imagine the more insane this game is.
Yeah.
And a quality level. Luke's saying we do get together physically. Do you guys allow the digital cards when you get together physically? Because like part of it is I've since Christmas been on kind of an old CCG spree.
Yeah.
And like obviously there's a wrestler like element to this, but like the idea of these like very hard to get into niche communities, right? That aren't like because you walk into a room of people playing Raw Deal at Gen Con,
They've been playing it for 20 years.
and it's got to be the most like there's going to be a culture there.
You've seen each other you've seen each other your whole lives.
Martin
right?
says you can print them out. That's awesome.
2019, 3 events in New England. Ontario runs many as well, yeah. Average 12 to 36 players.
That's
Boy, that's
amazing.
just not ever going to change, is it? I mean, really. It's just you're doing that every Gen Con until you're dead.
How long are you guys doing that event? I'm curious. Like, what does that look like? Because the thing about Gen Con is interesting.
I bet there's a couple pints involved.
I'm not sure if Gen Con's going to happen this year. It's in
Right.
August. We'll see with the isolation stuff. Luke says open arms always. Yeah, where do you guys play? What is that? Because like we've been to Gen Con and we always said this. The first year we went, I think there were 25,000 people. And now it's like 80,000. And it's like the whole downtown arena center. But then it's like every hotel in downtown has side events going on.
Something going on, yeah.
So there's so many pockets of Gen Con, and we've been going for over a decade now. That's crazy to actually say. It came out, and I was like, whoa. And like, there's just so much going on at that event that the fact that there's a literal wrestling card game since the 2000s that is going on every year at Gen Con, I have no idea about it, is amazing to me.
Yeah, so this is Eric Riegler said, we just played with the digital cards. By the time the game ended, there were 4 or so superstars that were almost auto win against everyone. So it turned into a real negative play experience. How can you balance this? How can you balance this many sets with this much text? There's no way to predict. Eventually, it's just going to get insane. Man.
Oh, this is so cool. Donovan says the interesting part was that there was only one of each wrestler allowed in the top cut of any tournament, which is super cool. Just the top player of this wrestler gets to make it into the cut no matter what your record is.
That's insane. Huh. Team Canada Online? Sounds like a fight club. It really does. I'll tell you, it's easy. How many?
Yeah, Donovan says that gave your meta a really good reason to run dark horses.
Right.
If you're the only person on a player, you might make the cut just
That
because
makes so much
you're
sense.
playing this wrestler.
That's a great mechanic for any game to consider. Like top of faction or top of identity, or top wrestlers. That's a good way to keep a meta fresh.
Imagine if Netrunner Worlds back in the day was day one, you play whatever you want. Then the top player from every runner
Yep.
and every corp made it to day 2.
Oh, that'd be such a cool meta.
How amazing!
That's how you got to do it. Everybody, you need to do it
Didn't
like
that just
that.
light you up? That
We need to
just
do
lit
it
me
like
up.
that. That's so good. We need to do it like that. Yeah, diversity rule was a great rule. Every one of these games did one or two things exceedingly well that nobody's ever done before. If you took all of those things and combined them into one game, it would be unstoppable.
I think it's so fascinating though, because like we've been going back and playing these games, and we're gonna keep going. We're doing Thursday throwbacks, Throwback Thursdays. I said that weird. Streaming, and I feel like the number of people that have put out expandable card games, particularly, and like probably haven't gone back to play all these old games. And most importantly, I think this is the thing that's amazing that we have chat on for, is we're getting to interact with people that were around.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, if we just bought some of these decks and played, we'd be like, oh, here's some cool mechanical stuff. But the rule where it's only the top player from every wrestler,
Yeah.
you wouldn't pick
You
that
wouldn't
up.
know that at all.
And that's what I'm saying is, like, going to Gen Con and running into a room of 20 people playing this game. It's like, I'm just kind of now weirdly fascinated with, like, the history of card games. And, like, all these old games where these communities are still around. And, like, I feel like there's so much, especially because, like, this game came out before the internet was big.
Yeah.
So like so much is just lost.
You remember those days?
I
It was
do.
so fun.
Even the TV.
You brought a deck, and it may be that this is you're the only person who had ever thought to put these cards together like this, and you roll into your 6-person tournament and just wreck, and it's like nobody knows that deck list. So now maybe you go to Worlds and nobody's ever seen it before, right? That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
It's a real shame. But what am I talking about? I'm just an old geezer. Hey, quick question for you guys, Raw Deal community out there that we got on the horn here. Do any of you guys play Super Show? Did that hit for you? Was there any crossover? Are you interested in it? Do you think it's like just a lighter version of a wrestling game and it's not appealing? Because we played a lot of Super Show too, and I think it plays well. I mean, I think it feels like a wrestling match. It's not nearly as cerebral as this.
I think
It's more high flying with some opportunity to be good, but it's not a deck building good like this. This is, man, these old games, they had the possibility to string cards together in a way that was completely unbeatable.
Yeah.
And you just don't get that anymore, do you? Not that I want it.
Mike says a lot of my Raw Deal friends love it. Ben Clapperton says never heard of it. It's a really good more modern, streamlined wrestling-based game. It's all fictional wrestlers, so it's not WWE. But I think that's a really big deal. Like,
Mike Cook saying, I bounced off it really hard, doesn't have enough strategy for me. Yeah, I mean, okay, so here's the question. Here's what you really got to ask yourself, though. This is a really good question. How many people in the world both love wrestling, love card games, and love heavy strategy? Those three things together, you guys are a really special group of people. I mean, that is not a common, I wouldn't normally smash those three worlds together.
Even if you just take number of people that love tabletop games and love heavy strategy.
It's low.
So like
Tabletop games and wrestling is probably fairly high.
that's
yeah.
I mean,
as you
look
said,
at, like,
soap opera for guys.
Yeah, HeroClix has the HeroClix WWE. I think that's doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
Because again, it's just
It's just real life
smash 'em up.
superheroes,
Yeah,
right?
It's just doing your thing. Mike says it's very small. Yeah. Only the people watching here. That's funny. A handful of unicorns.
Oh, that's cool.
I mean-
maybe there is a lot more crossover than I think.
I just think about the
70 or 80 Brits on the nose, exactly that
Nailed
many.
it. So like, my thing about it is like I know a fair amount of people that like wrestling, and it's not because I stopped wrestling, being into wrestling at teenage years really, but ultimately, all the people I've interacted with, I feel like most of them would be way more social gamers, like people that just want to hang out.
Which is kind of more of a Super Show thing.
Yeah, which is why
Roll it up
I think
and
Super
go.
Show is interesting. But if Super Show actually had the license, because I think one of the big things here is just like they're not known, they're a small publisher.
Yeah.
And like even for me, it's like if it was like, oh, here's Hulk Hogan. It's like, well, I'm interested enough to like really check that out for a second. Or
Right.
here's Andre the Giant, or here's a start of this Andre and Hulk, or here's Sting, or here's whoever your favorite is.
That's a big deal.
I think that
Yeah.
that identification, because like when I'm looking at it, it's just like, because in Super Show went a little like goofier as well, right? Like it's almost like there's a little more.
It's a little cartoonier, a little more.
Super Show doesn't take itself as seriously as WWE takes it.
Oh, this actually takes itself very seriously.
Incredibly
The
seriously.
game itself is an incredibly serious game. This is deeper than like a I would say like a Star Wars Destiny. I mean, this is way more cerebral than that. This may be way more cerebral than Netrunner.
Yeah.
Really?
He's like, I just said that. Did you see me? I said it.
Nuts. All right, Zach, you want to get out of here?
Let's get out of here. I hear
All
some
right.
rain, I think.
Well, thanks so much, guys. It's been a real pleasure to visit this game.
Yeah, and Mike, again, thank you for putting these decks together and sending them over. It was great. Everyone on chat was also awesome.
There's
Definitely.
the Discord,
Okay.
by the way. So, if anyone's interested in joining this, it sounds like there's some folks that are doing
There's
it.
also
Check out the Discord.
some Facebook groups
Yeah.
that I was looking around
There
on.
always are.
So I'll, as a wrestling fan, I mean, it's definitely fascinating. I enjoyed this. There's just a lot. The whole pre-match stuff was a lot to handle. So we've enjoyed having you here. It's been a great stream. We've been thrown back on Thursdays to old CCGs. We'll be doing another one next week. We're streaming 5 days a week. If you're unfamiliar with us, check us out. Stay safe out there, and we'll catch you guys next time.